What's happening, man? What's cracking? What is crizacking? What's cracking? We hope to have a great show for you guys tonight, man. Everybody in the building, hit the like button. Smash the like button early for a player. Smash the like button for a player. Yeah, man. What's up? What's up, my fellow countrymen? Hey, what's up, my fellow countrymen? Salute to you, man. Hitting that like button, man. We're smashing that, man. We out here. It's only one. It's only one channel like this on the net, man. We about to get it cracking, man. Whew. It wouldn't be right, man, if it wouldn't be right, man, if we didn't have these things, man, these issues, man, going on. Ugh. Magic Johnson in the building, man. The Magic Man, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. Magic Johnson was the first person that I, thought about when I was like, yo, who am I going to vote for? I said, you know what? When I first thought about it, I was like, it's a tough decision, man. Who should I consult about who I'm going to vote for, man? As a black man in America, man, who should I consult, man? And the first name that did come to mind for me personally was Magic Johnson, man. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go see what Magic Johnson thinks about this. And after that, after I got his I found out where his all his handles and everything, and I started looking it up. I started saying, okay, um, let me find out what Magic thinks about who black men should vote for. And first of all, how lucky we are to have the Magic Man around to tell us, who we should vote for. Salute to him, man. It's only right, man. Some people might have thought Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Nah, man. For me, it's Magic, man. Magic's my go-to when I think about political issues, man. Magic Johnson, man, because way past that ball. If you can pass a basketball like that, man, you gotta know what you're talking about when it comes to politics, man. I mean, you have to, man. It's almost like so. It was a no-brainer for me, man. It was a no-brainer for me, man. And listen, all those movie theaters he opened up, man. Magic Johnson cinemas, man.
Now, there's a lot of black men in here, and I don't mean to, not talk to other people, but this is important. Our black men, we got to get them out to vote. That's number one. Kamala's opponent promised a lot of things last time to the black community that he did not deliver on. And we got to make sure we help black men understand that. So that's why I'm here, to make sure I help black men understand. First, get out and vote, and then vote for the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris.
Uh, After consulting, man, thanks, Magic, man. Now that I've consulted you, now that I've gotten your opinion, man, you know what? I still think I'm gonna vote for Trump, man. You made a compelling case, Magic, but all I said was that you're the first person that I consult when I'm going to decide who to vote for. I didn't say that I was going to take your advice. I didn't say I was going to, vote the way you told me to. I just said that you're the first person I think to consult. Like whenever there's a political issue, first thing comes to mind, Magic Johnson. What does Magic Johnson think about this? But I never said that I was going to take the advice. So I was going to take the consultation. So thank you, Magic, man. Thank you for being great national treasure, man. Salute to you, bro. See what else is going on out here, man.
Guess what, y'all? I just hit.
I recently discovered my bad habit.
They straight up look confused. Angel Wilson, man.
Dope.
As is the machine, may rob Dwalishvili. Derek Lewis opens with a switch knee.
Oh, man.
See, a lot of times you guys don't know that part because I don't show you that part.
Do this to lower blood pressure naturally.
I wanted to try to bring my blood pressure down naturally. So I tried avoiding salt, fatty foods, and ate more salads and vegetables, you know the drill. But unfortunately, none of it made any impact on my numbers. Eventually, it got so bad I couldn't even stand for long because my heart would pound through my chest. Both my wife and I were constantly...
Good Euro step that time, but
sitting over there, and you should be.
Neo and his trio are going viral. It seems all three of his girlfriends or lovers, whatever you want to call them, they each have pictures of them kissing Neo as their social profile picture.
Stewie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is your cat peeing everywhere?
Bro, DDG and Holly just broke up. On my soul, where was I at? I ain't never seen them have no relationship problem on social media. Y'all did a good job behind it.
Misdemeanor.
I don't know at this point.
Okay, well, get the fuck on, bitch. You don't even know what crime you investigating. Misdemeanor or felony you investigating.
Officer Brink,
yeah.
Number 14939.
Yeah, if you ever put your hands on me again, it's going to be consequences.
Okay.
Well, like I told you, if you put your hands on me again, it's going to be dire consequences.
Okay.
Bitch ass motherfucker. I ain't under your authority, motherfucker.
All right.
I can stand where the fuck I want to stand in public.
Okay.
But go ask your captain down there who put his hands on me. I beat the fuck out of him at McDonald's. Fuck, we all got guns, bitch. Walk across the street, get your bitch ass on, you coward motherfucker.
Not gonna follow my officer like that.
Man, he ain't your officer. What y'all fuck buddies? Y'all fucking buddies?
You were told to stop the sidewalk. Back up.
You don't tell me where to stand, bitch. Hey, bro. Man, shut your bitch ass up. Turn that trash in, you trailer park ass obese bitch. Go ask the captain down there in charge of video. Drug his ass at McDonald's. Drug his motherfucking ass about putting his hands on me. And all y'all will get the same treatment. Especially you and him, man. Because you think you tough. Yeah.
This ain't your home.
Yeah.
Why don't you wait at your mom's house now?
Yeah. I can wait where I want to wait. Roll your eyes like a little fuck boy, did you? Roll your eyes like a little fuck boy down to the ground because you've been exposed, huh? Yeah. Why you worried about it? Why you worried about it, you drunk dope fiend? You too. You want some? I ain't think you did. Misdemeanor.
I don't know at this point.
Okay, well, get the fuck on, bitch. You don't even know what crime.
Just a normal interaction. This is a normal interaction. Stand
up guy.
Gotta play by the rules where I'm from.
Stand up guy.
Gotta play by the rules where I'm from.
Stand up guy.
Gotta play.
My husband asked me to close my eyes and
how much money do you pay in rent?
These 5 classes.
When we raise minimum wage, because we talk about lower wage jobs.
Here's why I
love it. Love it.
Undershot.
5 foot.
Love my homies.
Robbing.
I'm cool. JC looked at his fully marked.
There's really nothing good on this.
I mean, we're talking about.
Welcome to the month of October. For those
that
3
sucks tonight, man.
Honestly,
The big one.
It's app sucks tonight, man. Make sure you take the $5 challenge and support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, and Super Chat. Salute the product of Cook County with the super sticker, man. Shout out to product of Cook County, man. That app's terrible today, man. Goodness gracious. My God, that app is terrible right now. Let's see this one, man. Let's see this one, man. Super chat broken tonight. God, no. No, it's not broken. It's not broken tonight. Super chat's not broken tonight.
There are pictures of her in Harlem. Look at this photo. She just posts up right here, visiting my Uncle Freddie in Harlem. Harlem was always a magical place for me. Now, what's interesting about this picture is the man behind, I don't know if that's actually her Uncle Freddie, right? Like that came to my mind. I'm like, is this just like a guy working on the side of the street and she's just like including him because this picture shows a black man that's in Harlem and again signals to black people that like she's with her uncle up in Harlem. Kind of feels that way. But then I realized that she featured some more pictures of her black aunties and her black uncles, and we see Uncle Fred again. Take a look at this photo. This is going to drive you guys crazy because I still can't believe it when I read it. So you see three obviously black people in this photo. You would not question the authenticity of their blackness. And the caption reads, "I'm blessed with an amazing family. I'll never be able to thank Auntie Chris, Uncle Freddie, and Aunt Mary enough for their constant encouragement and support. They always showed up for me, as they did here at a campaign event for my DA."
If this was the same dude in that picture from 1966, he would be 175 years old. He would be 175 years old. If she's saying, Kamala saying, this is the same dude from that picture. This is Uncle Freddie right here in 1966, and I guess this is him now. Okay.
Uncle Freddie, right? Like that came to my mind. I'm like, is this just like a guy working on the side of the street and she's just like including him because this.
Salute to LRLRS, man. Big Larry in the building, man. I think he's safe to say the super chat works, man. Whoever said it's broken is sadly mistaken, man. It's working. Shout out to Big Larry, man.
In this photo, you would not question the authenticity of their blackness. And the caption reads, "I'm blessed with an amazing family. I'll never be able to thank Auntie Chris, Uncle Freddie, and Aunt Mary enough for their constant encouragement and support. They always showed up for me, as they did here at a campaign event for my DA's race that we held at a San Francisco, you guessed it, jazz club, because hey, we're talking Harlem, we're talking Black people, we're talking afros. Let's also post a picture of you in a jazz club with your aunties and your uncles. And like Black people will just accept that you only have all these photos because you're like super Black. But then I said, wait a second, she doesn't have an Aunt Mary or an Aunt Chris or an Uncle Fred. I've been deep in this woman's genealogy. Who are we talking about here? These people do not exist. And I said, is it possible that like somewhere in the book that she's alleging, probably assuming that no one is going to actually read through, she acknowledges that these aren't her real aunties and uncles? And the answer is yes, my friends. There's a passage about Aunt Mary and Uncle Freddie in this book, The Truths We Hold, which is really just the greatest trick ever played on Black America. She writes this: my mother surrounded herself with close friends who were really more like sisters. My godmother, a fellow Berkeley student whom I knew as Aunt Mary, was one of them. They met through the civil rights movement that was taking shape in the early 1960s and was being debated and defended from the streets of Oakland to the soapboxes in Berkeley's Sproul Plaza. As Black students spoke out against injustice, a group of passionate, keenly intelligent, politically engaged young men and women found one another. My mother and Aunt Mary among them. They went to peaceful protests where they were attacked by police with hoses. They marched against the Vietnam War and for civil rights and voting rights. They went together to see Martin Luther King Jr. speak at Berkeley, and my mother had a chance to meet him. She told me that at one of these anti-war protests, the marchers were confronted by the Hells Angels. She told me that at another, she and her friend were forced to run for safety with me in a stroller after violence broke out against the protesters. But my parents and their friends were more than just protesters. They were big thinkers, pushing big ideas, organizing their community. Aunt Mary, her brother, my Uncle Freddie, my mother and father, and about a dozen other students organized a study group to read the Black writers that the university was ignoring. So you guys, what can I say here? I am being reduced to sound effects. She wrote this book and she starts the sentence with her family. She's visiting her family in Harlem. This is maybe she wrote, I have the best family, and shows multiple pictures of an Uncle Fred that isn't her Fred. Why did she do this? It's not her uncle, okay? It's just not her uncle. It's her mom's friend. And she dedicates so much time to him and the protests. And she's dropping Martin Luther King, and she's dropping W.E.B. Du Bois, and she's dropping so many other people that are Black in this book. For what reason? Because she's performing, because this is a sleight of hand, because they quite literally likely sat around in a boardroom and they said, how can we make you Black? I want to see every photo of you ever taken. And I'm going to tell you what in people's minds will just read like Blackness. So we've got Ruby Bridges now in people's memory, being embedded in people's memory. Now we've got this idea of her marching aunties and uncles in Harlem. It's just so unacceptable.
Yeah, man. Candace is on Kamala's head. Yeah, she should have never messed with Janet. But it wasn't really Kamala, man. It was D.L. Hewley's dumb behind that did that, man. D.L. Hewley went after Janet, man, on behalf of Kamala, man. They say they came for Janet, and Candace opened the door. Jeez. Man. They said this is one way to. This is a prank, but it's funny. They say it's one way to make the subway safer. That's hilarious. That is one way to make the subway safer. Salute the King Legendary One, man. He says, I legit tried to send you a super chat 7 times at this point. F rambling Ramala Kamala, keeping do what you doing. But YouTube shadow ban is real. Yeah, man, you got to use the lingo, man. I'm glad you figured it out. You gotta be careful what you say, or you gotta say it in a certain way, or you gotta spell it differently, or you gotta put spaces between spaces where they don't belong. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. But yeah, they listen. I tried to do a show last night about Doug Emhoff beating up with women, and they age restricted it, man. Yeah, man.
Play 3 seconds left in the game. You're down by 1. Only one player can take the final shot. James Harden or LeBron James? LeBron. Okay. LeBron or Kawhi Leonard? LeBron. LeBron James or Kevin Durant? LeBron. Really? Okay. Yeah. We got a different one. LeBron or Steph Curry? LeBron. All right. I feel like this last one's going to get you. LeBron or Kobe Bryant? 3 seconds. All right, I'm gonna just say LeBron. LeBron? LeBron, we got you.
She's got a relationship with LeBron. LeBron must be mentoring her. There ain't no way you have LeBron take the shot over Kobe Bryant, man. Even if I don't care what the stats say, I don't care what the statistics say. I wouldn't mind LeBron taking it over Steph Curry, because Steph Curry, you know, he was clutch in the Olympics, but a lot of times he's not very clutch in these moments. But LeBron over Kobe, are you kidding me? You got to be joking, right? LeBron over Kobe. And I'm not just saying this because Kobe's gone, because I wasn't a big fan of Kobe, man. I was not a big fan of Kobe, man. As a person and as a teammate. I just was a big fan of Kobe. We played in the same area in high school, southeastern Pennsylvania. And I remember he was a superstar and everything. One of my assistant coaches was in a similar circle as him, but I never met him or anything. But Kobe, yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Kobe as a teammate. I was more Team Shaq back then. But ain't no way in the world, man, I'm taking LeBron over Kobe to take the last shot of the game. No way. Your new apartment managers of Kamala's reelected.
Y'all don't give a shit about women's sports unless it comes to Caitlin Clark, a hot person, or you find out someone's trans. Then all of a sudden, everybody's an expert. Everybody got a think piece. Everybody loves women in sports. Please, y'all not fooling me.
True. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Let's see.
We have seen Kamala Harris now in what, 4 different interviews now? She was with the All in Smoke podcast today with Matt Barnes and Stephen Jackson. We have not heard her actually go through a coherent argument for why her economic policies or any other policies are actually going to work. And when she's pressed on these issues, her default response is, I grew up as a middle-class child.
That's not true.
That is very true. I've watched everything. I've watched every interview.
She did give a whole speech on her economic policy.
Giving a speech in the teleprompter is not discussing policy off the cuff when you're asked directly by any reporter or any citizen in a town hall format or anything. And she has not proven that she can do that. To the contrary, what she is proving by her lack of being available to the press and really to the people is that she is heavily scripted. And so anybody can read the teleprompter, but what's going on when the teleprompter is off and you got to respond to real policy? That's the problem.
It's funny how you can disrespect this black guy. He don't got black privilege, man. Oh, God. I have to do a video of that later.
Why do people hate the Jews? I just wrote that one. I just thought it'd be a good way to wrap it up and ask.
The best historical answer that I know is something which doesn't really come from Christian theology, but still, I'll give you 3 statements and try to connect them in a logical way. Statement number 1, Jesus came to save all humans from our misery. Statement number 2, I'm still miserable. Statement number 3, the Jews killed Jesus. How do you connect these 3 statements together in a logical way? You get anti-Semitism.
Right. I would add to that, I think that is one of the reasons that a lot of people think the Jews killed Jesus. 2, chosen people strikes a lot of people wrong. Just like, oh, you think you're chosen? Well, we'll see about that. And 3, successful. Very successful. Right?
Don't look at me. I didn't like it.
No, but why do you think that there's anti-Semitism to the degree now we? Okay, but what about the young people now? What about this weird alliance between wokeism and jihadism that's going on?
I'd also add, you've got like this many Jews on TikTok, which is the most important mechanism to transmit information among young people today. And you've got a vastly larger Muslim population. The algorithms are driving the hate, as you've all suggested. That's actually a big component of why it's growing right now.
So the answer is get more Jews on TikTok.
Well, that would help.
Here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Peep the gaslighting. The Jews own all these social media platforms. They own Hollywood. They own Hollywood. They own the media. They're like 50% of all the judges and lawyers. They own academia. And now that we... In order to stop anti-Semitism, we got to get them to own TikTok. Don't they own enough stuff? Don't they run enough industries? Don't they run enough media? If people don't like them, man, it's not because they don't run every sector of the media. Every single sector. They own most of it. They own Hollywood. They own the images you see when you go to the movie. They own the images you see when you turn on the TV. China owns TikTok, okay? And Elon Musk owns Twitter. They basically said the key to stopping anti-Semitism is to get the Jews to own more of the media than they already do. Wow.
Why do people hate the Jews? I just wrote that one. I just thought it'd be a good way to wrap it up and ask. I mean,
the best historical answer that I know is something which doesn't really come from Christian theology, but still, I'll give you 3 statements and try to connect them in a way, in a logical way. Statement number 1, Jesus came to save all humans from our misery. Statement number 2, I'm still miserable. Statement number 3, the Jews killed Jesus. How do you connect these 3 statements together in a logical way? You get anti-Semitism.
right. I would add to that, I think that is one of the reasons that they think, a lot of people think the Jews killed Jesus. 2, chosen people strikes a lot of people wrong. Just like, oh, you think you're chosen? Well, we'll see about that. And 3, successful. Very successful. Right?
Don't look at me, I didn't like it.
No, but why do you think that there's anti-Semitism to the degree now we? Okay, but what about the young people now? What about this weird alliance between wokeism and jihadism that's going on?
I'd also add, you've got like this many Jews on TikTok, which is the most important mechanism to transmit information among young people today. And you've got a vastly larger Muslim population. The algorithms are driving the hate, as you've all suggested. That's actually a big component of why it's growing right now.
So the answer is get more Jews on TikTok. You
well, that
heard
would
it here
help.
first, ladies and gentlemen.
In our top story tonight for this half hour, a delivery ends in tragedy after a driver is lured to a fake address in Albany.
6 men are now behind bars, 5 accused of murder. Asia Wilson spoke with the victim's family who are trying to cope.
Who?
In our top story tonight for this half hour, a delivery ends in tragedy after a driver is lured to a fake address in Albany.
6 men are now behind bars, 5 accused of murder. Asia Wilson spoke with the victim's family who are trying to cope with this loss.
It's been pretty heart-wrenching. We've been pretty much devastated by this horrific tragedy.
Tracy Manos is a cousin of 27-year-old Alex Mixon, a young man whose life ended because of a senseless shooting that took place on West Broad Avenue around 8 o'clock Saturday night.
You hear murder on the news every day, but you never think it's actually going to hit home.
According to Albany police, Mixon was lured to a vacant home on the 1900 block of West Broad Avenue to deliver food for Bluckle's Grill and Pub. Investigators say he was approached by 2 men and left shot in the neck while inside his car during an attempted robbery. Minos is Mixon's cousin by marriage, but he says his entire family has been unable to sleep since his life tragically ended. A total of 6 young men are suspectedly.
Jaquavius and Jaquarius. We got a Jaquavius and a Jaquarius, man. God, dog. Okay. It's cracking, man. We got a Jaquavius, a Jaquan, and a Jaquarius. This is the blackest crime in the history of crime, man. Salute to Destra. It's the blackest crime ever, man. This is the blackest crime since slavery, man. Destra. Everybody smash that like button, man. Jaquarius, Jaquan, and Jaquavius. Our friend didn't have a chance, man. Our delivery driver, buddy, he was doomed from the get up, man. 6 dudes couldn't rob a delivery driver without killing him. God, dog. Iron, McKee, and Jalen. And there's always a Jalen in the mix. Salute to Steve Grady, man. Steve Grady says, I just received my Op Nation News baseball cap from the merch store, and I love it. I wore it out to dinner tonight and kept wondering if someone walked by and yelled, Clyde. Yeah, man. Salute, man. Salute, man. You got to send me a picture, man, to my email, akintunde live2@gmail.com. Send me an email so I can show you wearing God, did they eat the food? They probably argued over who's gonna eat the food, man. Probably argued about it. He a delivery driver, so he probably didn't have any cash on. Everything goes through the app. So yeah, they probably made off with nothing.
For food from Luckles Grill and Pub. Investigators say he was approached by two men and left shot in the neck while inside his car during an attempted robbery. Minos is Mixon's cousin by marriage, but he says his entire family has been unable to sleep since his life tragically ended. A total of 6 young men are suspectedly involved in his death.
This has actually hit home and woke us all up to start being more aware of our surroundings.
Minos says Mixon was a talented artist, humbled and studied theology as
Oh man. Man, he outkicked his coverage, man. Salute to you, bro, man. You was living. You a delivery driver, man. That's what I tell you dudes, man. This guy was a delivery driver, man. And he had him a baddie, man. He had a baddie, yo. He had a baddie, man. Poor woman, man. I know she was heartbroken, man, when she got the news, man. Poor woman, man. You niggas just bring nothing but pain and suffering, man. Yeah, she looked better than them NBA player wise be basic, man. She a baddie, man. Yeah, man. He was a struggling artist, man. He was a struggling artist, man. She believed in him, man. He's a struggling artist. That's all. Some goddamn apes killed him over like $20.
Cousin by marriage, but he says his entire family has been unable to sleep since his life tragically ended. A total of 6 young men are suspectedly involved in his death.
This has actually hit home and woke us all up to start being more aware of our surroundings.
Minos says Mixon was a talented artist, humbled and studied theology as a hobby.
He was just an all-around great guy. I mean, just peaceful in every way. You could call him a peacemaker because he was just, you never see him get mad. You never see him get angry. He was always timid and quiet.
Next week would have been Mixon's 28th birthday. Mixon's wife and family were already prepared.
So that lets you know he probably didn't resist. The niggas just killed him for the fun of it. He probably gave him the money.
Hobby.
He was just an all-around great guy. I mean, just peaceful in every way. You could call him a peacemaker because he was just, you never see him get mad. You never see him get angry. He was always timid and quiet.
Next week would have been Mixon's 28th birthday. Mixon's wife and family were already preparing for it.
It even ordered him a present. So, pretty emotional time.
Now, instead of his birthday celebration, this family is left to mourn the life of a passionate husband, lover of nature and his faith, whose life ended too soon.
His life, it was cut way too short, and we're going to miss him.
And 5 of the suspects are facing first-degree murder charges, and 1 is charged with tampering with evidence.
Waking up white people. Waking up white people, man. I didn't know about this one. Okay, I'm following them. I didn't know I was following them. What in the world, man? My God. What in the Everybody hit that like button, man. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, man. We gonna get into this, man. They don't want this smoke, man. They don't want this smoke.
You're out of the woods, you're out of the dark, you're out of the night. Step into the sun, step into the light.
Violent savages. And she deserves it all.
Innocent, let me repeat, innocent white females who have been harmed by black men in America. That's just here in America. We're not talking about Europe. We're not talking about Africa. That absolutely not. But why can't white people speak up and stand up and support their own people? Stop disallowing people that don't like you, specifically that hate you. Don't allow them to trick you. Okay, this is a trick, people. To trick you into feeling sorry about speaking up for yourself and your cultures.
Tells police
right?
that this suspect is someone that she knew from the neighborhood, but only in passing. She never had a relationship with him and never even knew his name. She says that when he assaulted and raped her, she asked him why he was doing this, and he told her he did it because she's white. Pittsburgh police have filed an arrest warrant for 47-year-old Lee Harris. Harris, pictured here in a mugshot from 2014, is most...
Hey, over here, buddy. Over here, man. Hey. Hey, over here. Hey. Over here, man. Shit, man. Jeez, man.
Recently accused of raping a woman in September in Pittsburgh's Uptown neighborhood. The information in this criminal complaint depicts what the victim allegedly went through, and since it's a matter of sexual assault, her identity is not being released. She tells police she was walking home when Harris passed her and then decided to walk.
Best and worst dinner for your waistline. Sweet potatoes. Try to find the purple sweet potato. They're the highest level of polyphenols you can find. Pasta. Well, pasta, unfortunately, is based
with her. When they got to this intersection, Harris pulled out a knife from his pocket, put it to her neck, and ordered her to walk to an abandoned building. Police say the victim complied, fearing Harris would kill her. Then she was forced to go to the second floor, where Harris pushed her into a small room, and it's there he allegedly assaulted, raped, and threatened the woman. When she asked him why he was doing this to her, he allegedly said, "Because you're white." Harris is wanted on a long list of charges, including sexual assault, rape, and ethnic intimidation. And some background on Harris. Court documents do show that he was charged with rape in 2011 and at that time did spend time in the Allegheny
Italian
County
culture
jail.
in the white race, German culture in the white race, French culture, Dutch, Swede, Norwegian, Russian, you know what I mean? Serb, right? What's wrong with that? Portuguese, Spaniard, being from Spain. What is wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that.
So this is a German magazine. Salute to Eric Boatwright, man. He says, another off-topic question. But what is the percentage side survives the next weeks? Lynn Dunn's gone. You got a new GM. GMs usually want their own coach. But I just got a feeling for some reason, man. I just got a feeling for some reason they're not going to fire her, man. I don't know why, but I just think they're not gonna fire. I don't know why. I feel like they're not gonna fire her, man. I don't know why. I just feel it's a feeling.
With me. From the garden, along the love tree, and tiptoe through the tulips with me. Waiting, the flower will stay. We'll keep the showers away, and if I kiss you in the garden, in the moonlight, you thought of me.
Stop fearing the people that hate you. Stop it. Please stop. Stand up for yourself. Speak up for yourself, because we cover stories over here, and we've covered hundreds and thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but hundreds and thousands of white victims due to black crime, due to black
A woman
violence.
was dragged down a busy Wyoming road by her ex-boyfriend in an incident caught on video. A 21-year-old man's now charged, but the victim says it's not enough. News 8's Barton Dieters spoke with her tonight, and we do want to warn you that some of the images that you're about to see may be disturbing for some viewers.
The 20-year-old Hudsonville native and mother remains in the hospital burn unit, where she may stay for up to 2 months. And it all started here in Wyoming. Alexis Sandoval's injuries are disturbing and horrific.
My injuries? I could have died.
Sandoval says she and a friend were getting a ride from her ex-boyfriend, Tyrese Baker of Grand Rapids, when she decided to get out of the vehicle. They had a relationship in which she claimed he was very controlling and at times abusive. She said a few days before this incident, he'd given her a black eye. While stopped on Byron Center Avenue near 36th Street, she started getting out when he grabbed the backpack she was still wearing. She was tangled in the straps and attempted to run alongside the car. Then she slipped as he took off, dragging her along.
Felt my back burn off. I felt my head hit the pavement. I have about 4 staples on this side of my head.
She said he pulled the backpack tighter against her, keeping her from escaping and accelerating, refusing to release the backpack. She was able to get loose, and a friend brought her to Metro Health, where her road rash injuries were wrapped and cleaned before she was transferred to the burn unit at Spectrum Butterworth, where she could remain for as long as 2 months. Baker turned himself in on Monday and is charged with unarmed robbery, reckless driving causing severe injury, and domestic violence. The maximum penalty he could face would be 15 years in prison. Sandoval is not happy with the charges.
I will be writing the judge and the prosecutor. I will be keeping in touch every day, day by day. I'm going to keep fighting and fighting and fighting until he gets charged to the maximum.
She says Baker's intent was clear.
I mean, he ruined my life. He took me away from my son. He tried to murder me.
The suspect is due in Wyoming court on July 7th. We'll be there and let you know how this case progresses. In Wyoming, Barton Dieters, News 8.
And we show you material over and over, and it's so repetitive.
Wow, man. Wow. Wow, I've never seen this video in such high definition, man. I've never seen that video in such high definition.
from 2021. But you put up a chart, I just looked at the chart myself. The bottom line was from 2021. But what happened in 2021? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris came into office. This is when Democrat politicians were all the rage for defund the police.
This had nothing to do with that.
Can I finish my point? Because I'll let you speak. No, but you can't.
You really did not. You monopolized the entire conversation for the most part.
Keith, you yelled across the table, didn't even let me
because you lied.
I'm not lying. I'm telling you the truth. You don't want to hear the truth. That's the problem. The truth is up there in the screen. You don't want to hear the truth.
Let me let you finish your thought.
All I'm saying is,
look at how they just they're horrible.
Democrat.
They're horrible. God, I hate these. I hate liberals, man. They're so rude. They're horrible, man. They're disgusting, man. Look how they act when confronted with the truth.
What happened in 2021? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris came into office. This is when Democrat politicians were all the rage for defund the police.
Yo, you're supposed to be neutral. You're the host of a show on the news, right? The Community News Network, whatever CNN stands for. But why is she cutting her eyes and rolling her eyes and shit? That shit is so unprofessional. She up here rolling her eyes. Yo, bitch, why you being obviously partisan?
Well, what happened in 2021? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris came into office. This is when Democrat politicians were all the rage for defund the police.
This had nothing to do with that.
Can I finish my point? Because I'll let you speak. No, but you can't.
You really did not. You monopolized the entire conversation for the most part.
You yelled across the table, didn't even let me.
Yeah, you monopolizing a wiener every night, man. You monopolizing a schlong.
You lied. I'm not lying. I'm telling you the truth. You don't want to hear the truth. That's the problem.
Let me let you finish.
The problem is you don't want to hear the truth.
Let me let you finish your thought.
All I'm saying is similar.
I don't even know why you have him on stage tonight.
Similar to inflation, because I'm bringing facts to you.
Because you're lying.
Because similar to inflation, in 2024, the trend lines are coming down slowly. But that ignores the reality of 2021, 2022, 2023. You know what the American people are concerned about, which Donald Trump is speaking to? Massive inflation brought to us by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
True.
It is very true. Even Larry Summers said it. You can interrupt all you want, but it's the facts. I was in the House. You were not. I know exactly what happened.
I know what you were doing in the House.
But again, I'm going to move on. Hang tight, Keith. I'm going to finish. You have massive inflation.
And we know what you was doing in the House last night. We know what you was doing in the House, Keith Boinkins. We know what you was doing in the House. Stinking it up.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
True.
It is very true. Even Larry Summers said it. You can interrupt all you want, but it's the facts. I was in the House. You were not. I know exactly what happened.
I know what you were doing in the House.
But again, I'm going to move on. Hang tight, Keith. I'm going to finish. You have massive inflation created by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
True.
The same chart you just put up, 2021 through 2023, crime rates going up, and then slowly tapering off in 2024. And then we're supposed to sit here and act like, oh, happy days are here again because the trend lines are going down. The trend lines over the last 4 years are massively up. That's what Donald Trump is speaking to. And that's why the American people have serious issues about what's going on in America.
I will say this.
Why would you say anything? Ain't you just a host, bitch? Fuck you got to say something for? That's hysterical, man. That's hysterical, man. That's hysterical. That is absolutely hysterical. Uh, what do y'all think about this? This dude he's 52 with a 19-year-old girlfriend. I don't have a problem with that, man. She's 19. If she was 17, okay, then fine. You could say whatever. She's 19. She's not 17. She's 19. I don't have a problem with it, man.
I mean, young women prefer older men because they have more status, clout, resources, etc. So why is it like men are just desperate in general to get sex from women and attention from women, and they can't get it. Most men under age 30 now there's a huge portion of men under 30 that are virgins, not in a relationship, and the vast majority of women under 30 are in relationships. So it's happening because this is what the women are choosing. The women make these choices. So I don't understand why they blame the men when this stuff happens.
Well, I mean, they blame the men because the men are responsible. Women are seen as not, being responsible or accountable for their actions. Men are. So we're going to take the blame for almost these things. But in this case right here, like just straight up law, she's 19.
Yeah, she's an adult.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with this.
She could be 16 in many places, and it's considered acceptable,
Exactly. She's knows what she's doing, man. And I've been a older guy. I've had younger girlfriends when I was young. I mean, it seemed like when I was in my 20s and whatnot, dating girls in their around 19, or I felt like I was, older dude. This dude's 52, and I still don't feel nothing wrong with it, man. And young girls, they look the best, man.
Yeah.
Look, it just is what it is, man. Young girls look better, man. I love videos like this, man. Once you get on Instagram, that's how they get you. Because you start watching this shit, and then next thing you know, you can't stop watching it. You keep watching one after the other.
I'm trying to visit.
Are you playing games, boy?
No.
Get up out of here.
He's housed in here.
Hey, get up out of here.
You haven't seen him?
You playing game now. Go on now. Because I thought you were for real. You wasting my time. Trying to get off back up or something. Out of here with all that foolishness. Out of here with the foolishness.
I'm sorry.
I ain't going to tell you again now.
No.
If you come back in here again, you're going to be arrested for trespassing. Get on out of here while you got feet.
This dude's stupid as shit, man. Let's get into what's his name? Sir Major, Ocho Cinco, and James Harris. Oh my God. They're not going to fight each other, are they? No way. No way. No way. No way. No way, man. What's this dude? Sir Major, man? This BLM dude, man. Former head of Black Lives Matter of Greater Atlanta is heading federal prison, man, after he was found guilty of taking donations after the death of George, using them to travel and buy a home. Shocking, man. Tyrese Conyers Page.
I do feel sorry for Black people that are born albino, or the ones that have like the partial albino pigmentation.
Vitiligo.
Yeah.
This dude right here, though, man, it's like, yeah, man, you got the white skin, but you got the black brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I thought it was just a social construct, right? His skin is white, so he should be white, right? It's a social construct.
Right, exactly, man. You look very prognostic, though, man. Yeah, man, 42 years in prison, man. This one says, Sir Major sentenced to serve 42 months in federal prison yesterday. FBA group ain't shh. I didn't see one free Sir Major from this anti-African Caribbean group. Just last week, he was on FBA tap in with Tariq Nasheed space calling Haitians pet eaters and Africans tethers. Oh, wow.
Correlation to,
Yes, sir.
So again, there's a fine distinction and there's a correlation to, and
Yes,
that
sir.
we all know to be true between Haitians, voodoo, and eating.
What do you know to be true, sir? Speak for yourself.
Thank you, Trick. Appreciate it. Okay.
Yeah, I told you. You see how these crackers do? They don't answer the question, bro, and they try to turn us against each other because we fucked them up in 1804.
But Sir Major.
Now, let's...
So let's.
Let's see, man. See our buddy, man.
That's right. U.S. District Judge Jeffrey Helmick today ordered Page to serve 42 months in prison. 35-year-old Sir Major Page was found guilty of wire fraud and 3 counts of money laundering following a 6-day trial back in April. You may remember him from leading a number of local social justice demonstrations in Toledo during 2020, including this one. Marching down South Reynolds Road and ending at then Toledo Police Chief George Crawl's house. Those guilty verdicts came from Page's involvement in running a group called Black Lives Matter of Greater Atlanta. He created that Facebook page back in 2016. U.S. attorneys say Page took donation money to purchase luxury clothing, meals, drinks at bars and nightclubs, a house, firearms, and a prostitute, all for himself. Prosecutors saying donors were tricked, believing they donated to a legitimate Black Lives Matter foundation, not knowing the money would be redirected to a subsidiary in Toledo.
Wow.
Page's attorney says he was not ordered to go to prison right away and will turn himself into marshals within the next few weeks.
That's privilege, man. You get to turn yourself in a couple of weeks, man.
Yeah, I guess they thought the money was going to go to the real scam, right? The real Black Lives Matter scam.
Right.
It went to the wrong scam, man.
Yeah, man. Look at seeing him around 3 white dudes, man. You can see the difference, man. He, even though his skin is white, he is a different
Dude, I could see that, bro. He might as well be purple. He looks nothing like a person of European ancestry. I mean, it's almost like seeing a cat with it. You ever see a cat when it gets its hair, like with the hair removed? It just looks so out of place and weird. Like black people look normal when their skin is black. When you bleach it white, it's so just strange to me.
Yeah, man. Wow. He is you can tell he's a son, man. It's just weird though. Yeah, it looks very weird. Wow. Damn, bro. Prison, man. Federal prison. He going to the federales, man. Shout out to D from Boston, man.
Is he making that face because he has something to lose? Do you think that's why? Usually you don't get that face in the mugshot.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. he just might, you know what I'm saying? He might not be a criminal or nothing. He might not be like an unrepentant thug. He might just be a scammer. You know, a grifter. You know, a straight up grifter. Just some dude who seized the moment. A lot of people did that during 2020. They seized the moment. They weren't like activists. They just got a bullhorn.
Yeah.
Just went out there.
Start talking shit on the street.
To be honest with you though, like when I was out there with BLM in like 2014, 2015 and everything, I could have been the leader of BLM, but I was just going out there just to see what was going on. I like, just watching that stuff, just standing back. I'm kind of like a lurker, right?
Yeah.
But I could have been the leader. Like, it's not like a centralized thing. Like, the Black Lives Matter DC wasn't attached to anything else. It was just, it wasn't like a fraternity. You know how like those fraternities, you gotta like go to the main chapter. You have to be linked to like other chapters, right? But BLM, like we could just be like, we're BLM of YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And start a thing and make a page and have no connection to anything, any centralized organization. So yeah, it kind of works like that. So like a lot of times too, a lot of the people aren't leaders that are at their protest. And if you take the bull by the horn, if you just be like, chanting, like start chanting shit, and you know what I'm saying, and you lead them, they'll go wherever you tell them to go. Because nobody really wants to be the leader. Everybody just wants to show up and yell and scream. Nobody wants to be the person that, the face of that shit. So yeah, anybody with like a type A personality or just a ambition could be the leader of any one of those groups. Yeah, man. And yeah, he turned MAGA too. Yeah, that was crazy because
he did what? He turned MAGA?
Yeah, he turned MAGA, man.
Is that why they arrested him? That must be why he got to jail.
Maybe so. Where is it at? I saved it. I know he turned MAGA. Where is it? Let me go back. Let me go back. Because he's a grifter, you know what I'm saying? He saw which way the wind was blowing, and he went MAGA with it. Let me go to YouTube. See him. It was just, a lot of these people, when they see things, they were never Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is just, it's not really like a real thing, man. It's just kind of like an idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a what's the word? It's like a zeitgeist. You know what I'm saying? It's not really like it's a wave, more like,
Yeah, it's a concept, not.
Yeah, exactly. It's not really just a thing. So this, here they go right here. So this is when they arrested him 4 years ago.
Right at noon, we begin with breaking news. The FBI and Toledo police are raiding the house owned by High Frequency Ohio. Sir Major Page, a key member of the group, Ariel Onstadt, is live outside the home in the Old West End. Ariel, the FBI just released some new details. What is this all about?
Yeah, Amanda, the FBI has arrested Sir Major Page, legal name Tyree Conyers Page. I want to show you what the scene is like here in the Central City right now. The FBI is just finishing up their search of this house on the 2000 block of Glenwood here in Central Toledo. Now, the FBI and Toledo police have been out here since about 7:30 this morning searching the home. A complaint was filed with the FBI's National Threat Operations Center back in April, alleging that Page was fraudulently fraudulently utilizing a Black Lives nonprofit organization. They claim he was misrepresenting himself and posing as a Black Lives Matter leader. Ultimately, the FBI says Sir Major Page has spent over $200,000 on personal items generated from donations received from that account with
that flash screen is now like $200 at Walmart. I swear to you. I just bought a little one like not too long ago, maybe like 6 months ago. I bought a little flat screen for like $80. Like it was like a 32-inch for like $80. And these things are so inexpensive now. It's crazy.
No identifiable purchase for social or racial injustice. Another member of High Frequency, Sir Major Page's organization, Ron Goolsby, tells me Sir Major Page didn't live in this house, but stayed here some time. Goolsby is a close friend to Sir Major Page. He tells me High Frequency bought the house to shelter battered women and other victims of domestic violence.
He wanted some battered women in there. I wonder why.
Right. He was, man. They grifters, man. I'm talking about they go from one thing to the next.
Oh, no, look at him.
Leader of a group called Black Lives Matter of Greater Atlanta was arrested by the FBI today on fraud charges. Agents raided a home in Toledo, Ohio, and arrested Sir Major Page, whose real name is...
Yo, how does hair get all silky, like smooth like that? What the hell?
It's called a perm, man. He trying to look like a white man.
That's what that is.
He's probably so crazy that he probably thinks that because he got the glasses. Glasses when you're a defendant, glasses are a must. You're a defendant because the jury, it makes you look more innocent. But yeah, this he's a mess, man.
Tyree Conyers Page. He's accused of using more than $200,000.
Jeez, what a crazy looking guy, man. My God. So it took them 4 years to finally get him in jail. Wow, 4 years. 4 years. That's crazy.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Sir Major Page. I am the Minister of Justice, and I am sitting here inside the MGR studios. I wanted to address you guys on what to expect next. I've got to run to another meeting with some very important people in government. I won't say what level of government. Thank you to the community for coming out to support. You guys did not support me. You supported your people, our city. Toledo is a resilient city. Toledo is a promising city, and I am proud to be made in the mud. On yesterday, everyone joined us as we stood in solidarity, as we occupied the space. We met at Swainfield Park, our plaza. We went over to Old Orchard School parking lot. We parked, and we made our way over to the person who was responsible for making the decisions in the city of Toledo, and that was the home of the mayor. We occupied space.
Wow, what a fucking weirdo, man. What a fucking weirdo these people are.
These are my girls. I'm making hot too. I might come over there. Keto game. Good resistance. I might come in.
Weirdo, man.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, Toledo? It is your man. It's your main man, Sir Major. And of course, we just wrapped up over at the Toledo Lucas County Common Pleas Court. We just got finished over there. We come to do some police accountability right here in the city of Toledo. And right now, I am standing in front of the public safety building. I'm back over here. Yes, I am, Toledo. Look at it. Look at the scenery right behind me. Here, I look like I'm a reporter. Right behind me are the Toledo police cars right out here, right? I'm out here, y'all, because I want you guys to understand, really, right now, you could say, I'm letting y'all know I'm doing a demonstration to let you guys know that you do not have to be afraid of these police officers. Stop being afraid. See, they fuck with you because they know that you fear them. It's like being a dog. When you are a dog, when you go around a dog can tell. A dog can sense fear. A dog can sense fear. When you go around the police can sense when you fear them. I'm at the police station right now. At the police station right now. I mean, at the public safety building. All right? Here are the cars. State's here. There's the court. There's the mayor's office. Stop being afraid. Stop being afraid of these people. Stop being afraid of these people. Stop being afraid of these people. You pay these people. You put these people in office. You pay your taxes to these people. Stop being afraid. How are you going to let somebody hustle you or finesse you, take your money, basically?
Oh, shit.
How you going to let somebody take your money and then do you let them punk you out? Here's my complaint. I'm on a police car right now. Here's my complaint. Against CSB, the county, the Lucas County Sheriffs. I drafted this complaint up. Look at this complaint. This is a complaint. What's up, Keisha? What up, Curtis? This is my complaint. And here's who I send my complaint to. U.S. Department of Justice. Ohio Attorney General, Ohio Civil Rights Commission, the Ohio ACLU, the Lucas County Board of Commissioners, Lucas County Children's Services, their board, the Sheriff's Office, and of course the Toledo Alliance for Social Justice. Those are all the people who I sent this complaint to. Here are the people who I complained against. Robert Reese, Executive Director, Lucas County Children's Services. Kelly J. I need to take that pistol, take me to the bathroom. And he had to stand outside that door. See, if they want to play games where they want to have people follow you, let them work for you. I said, now you're part of my security detail. You work for me. I said, now, I usually don't like people standing too close to me, so it's your job to keep people at a distance. I don't want people walking next to me. So that is the only way we're going to be able to fight the system. You can't fight the system one by one. You can't fight the system, Sir Major, by himself. Johnny by himself. Charmaine by herself. Nathaniel by himself. Twyla by herself. We got to come together. There's no way we're going to be able to fight this oppressive system right behind me, right across the street, and those courts over there. You're not going to be able to fight these people by yourself. But if we stand together, we'll be able to do it. We'll be able to do it. Now, they want to paint the picture that I'm a crazy hothead or a crazy madman because I speak with passion and because I speak with fire. I'm not crazy, but I'm not going to sit here and let you mistreat black people. That's for damn sure. We're going to make our way over here to the Toledo Municipal Court. They don't like the fact that I'm giving y'all the game. They can't stand this. They try to tell you he impersonated the police. Y'all shouldn't listen to him. Which is not true. I never did that. And I don't have a felony. Impersonating the police is a felony. You saying
Let me see something. Did he impersonate the police, man? Let me see, man. Did he impersonate police?
He strikes me as one of these guys that would pretend to be like a doctor or a lawyer or something without a license. You know what I mean? You ever hear about that?
Interviews right now?
You love to talk. I've seen you. So it's
I love
now.
to talk and I love Fox 5. How you guys doing?
One of the most vocal leaders
So
of an
what the fuck is he, Carrot Top now? What the fuck is up with this guy? Yo, fuck.
Atlanta group protesting police brutality has himself been arrested multiple times for, of all things, impersonating a police officer.
Tyree Page is currently on probation after pleading guilty to a lesser crime of obstruction of a police officer.
Fox 5 team reporter Randy Travis talked to Page today about the irony of these criminal charges.
That's right, Tanae and Russ. Yeah, Tyree Page likes to refer to himself as Sir Major Page, leader of Black Lives Matter of Greater Atlanta. His extensive court files offer another surprising description, though: cop wannabe.
No justice, no peace. In the days following the often chaotic marches through Atlanta protesting fatal police shootings, Tyree Page became one of the faces of the movement. He was part of the group that met with Atlanta Mayor Kasim Reed to demand changes in police training and tactics. Page even spoke at a joint news conference.
We stand on the shoulders of those who have paved the way for us to be able to protest in the streets and to be able to have our voices heard.
What the mayor's office says it did not know at the time is this police protester had already been arrested multiple times for impersonating a police officer.
I just want to know a little bit more about these criminal charges that you've had against you for impersonating a police officer. How can you justify that when you've been protesting against police brutality?
Absolutely. So I have a PR director. You can reach out to her.
I'm talking to you right now. Come on.
I don't do on the spot interviews right now.
You love to talk. I've seen you. So let's talk now.
I love to talk, and I love Fox 5. How you guys doing? I do Fox 5. I like you guys. Right now is not appropriate time.
Let's talk right now about these criminal charges.
I'm not talking.
You've been charged multiple times with impersonating a police officer. How can you justify that?
Page's public social media sites boast pictures of him decked out with weapons and tactical gear. In December 2014, Atlanta police charged him with impersonating a police officer when they found him at the Shell station on Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard wearing a replica of the Atlanta police officer uniform, Glock 45 automatic pistol, and other gear. According to the police report, he had a black female handcuffed in front of the gas station. Page said he was working security there. In October 2015, police...
That's crazy, man.
Of all people, a sister, man. He arrested a sister.
Yep.
Oh, shit. Well, let's be honest. She probably was doing something.
Yeah.
I mean, even though he's a fake cop, man, you know what I'm saying? Sisters be out of control, man. Sometimes you got to, make a citizen's arrest.
Glock 45 automatic pistol, and other gear. According to the police report, he had a black female handcuffed in front of the gas station. Page said he was working security there. In October 2015, police reports say Page was again armed, wearing a bulletproof vest outside a MARTA station. He even demanded to see ID from a man who turned out to be an APD sergeant.
The police impersonation charges even stretch into this year. According to court records, Page, quote, blustered his way past security guards here at the Sloppy Floyd building by claiming he was an FBI agent. The court records say he was carrying a gun.
In fact, a witness at the Sloppy Floyd building stated Page had more weapons than I ever seen an officer wear. He ultimately was allowed to clear all 3 counts by pleading guilty to lesser charges of obstruction and carrying a weapon in an unauthorized location. Page is currently on 2 years probation.
You protest police brutality. If you want to be a cop, why don't you just apply to one of these places?
Page and the Black Lives Matter of Atlanta movement parted ways several months ago. Recently, he started his own group, Black Lives Matter of Greater Atlanta. Tiffany Roberts is legal advisor to the first group. She says they had no idea Page had been arrested so many times on police impersonation charges.
I would say it's peculiar at the very least, and some aspects of it are alarming as considered.
So it's peculiar in some aspects of our life. Man, if that ain't the understatement of the year. Jeez.
Considering being able to get firearms past security checkpoints and so forth.
Are you glad he's not part of your group anymore?
I'm happy that anyone who doesn't adhere to our principles chooses to do something else.
Well, both the mayor's office and Atlanta police tell us Page's criminal record was, quote, not relevant in their decision to include him in a meeting with other protesters. They said it was a public meeting and anyone who wanted to join was welcome.
So, Randy, has Page explained at all why he had all of this gear?
In a couple of places in the police report, Sine, he told police that the reason he had all this gear and the guns and all that was that he was a bounty hunter. He was a recovery agent. But you have to be registered with the local sheriff's department to be a recovery agent in Georgia. And we checked with Fulton and DeKalb, and he's not registered with them.
Well, perhaps he will talk to us at one point about this. As you pointed out, he
likes
to talk in the back.
He does like to talk.
Ooh. Jeez. Homie is a nut, man. This guy is
it's so
nut.
weird, man. He seems like harmless, actually, like he wouldn't actually do anything horrible, but just super like weird, like
Hey, I wouldn't put nothing past him, man. Nothing.
Going for Black Lives Police. Do you think we need some type of police protection?
Nobody out here, I think I speak for the vast majority of people, nobody out here is against cops.
Okay.
We're against bad cops,
Okay.
killing cops,
Okay.
cops that have disregard for black lives.
Okay.
No one is anti-cop out here. I'll be the first to tell you that. If someone breaks in my house, I'm gonna call the police, right? So no one out here is against cops. We're against corrupt police officers.
Okay. Now, what's your on this demonstration?
For this demonstration, we got our heads, which is Dre, and we have Mary Hooks.
Okay.
Mary was also responsible.
Wow. This dude is insane. Wow, 200,000. He pocketed 200,000. Jeez. You say he's grown? Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? He's a lovable kind of guy, man.
Yeah, Fred. So police say they were able to get to the shooting pretty quickly. They got a vehicle description, and then they spotted that vehicle, and that's what led to that police chase. You saw the driver of that car was arrested, but police say they're looking for a second suspect involved in that shooting. They say it was a targeted shooting that left a 17-year-old boy in critical condition.
Surveillance video captures the end of a high-speed police chase through North Philadelphia Friday, ending in a crash. The driver bailing out while the car is still moving at 5th and Glenwood. Police say this all started from a shooting
You didn't even fall? What?
Hold on.
Crash. The driver bailing out
He jumped out.
while the car is still.
Oh, okay.
he
So we can't see him. We can't see him. He's on the other side of the car. We can't see him. He's already out. But once the car appears, he's already out. He's just rolling down the street, smoking Indo, sipping on gin and juice. Let's see.
End of a high-speed police.
Well, watch when the car comes into the frame. He's already out. Yeah, he's already on the ground. He got up. He rolled onto his feet.
I thought he jumped out and landed on his feet.
These son shitheads, like, if that was a good person, they would have died jumping out like that. They
Would have definitely severe burns and
cracked their head.
Broken leg, cracked skull. Yeah, definitely, without a doubt.
This all started from a shooting.
Yeah, man. Wake up.
Just minutes before.
Report of a shooting, 6 in Allegheny, intercepted bus
Looking for a 20-year-old black male with dreadlocks new for the flash at this time. Last seen on Allegheny towards 3rd Street.
Police say a
Maybe it's the
17-year-old boy
dreadlocks.
was shot on the SEPTA bus just after 6 o'clock near 3rd and Allegheny. Bullet holes pierced through the bus window. Police say the bus was nearly full at the time, with about 30 people on board, and say someone drove the victim to the hospital where he's listed in critical condition.
It does appear that the person that was shot was the intended target of the shooter, based on the information that we have at this time.
Police say the shooter got into a stolen silver Hyundai with a second suspect, but investigators believe that second suspect then fled on foot, where officers can be seen searching for him with flashlights at 4th and Westmoreland. 3 crime scenes spreading across several neighborhoods where only one person was reported injured.
People shooting indiscriminately on the bus, especially one that has that number of people on it, it certainly could have been worse, and we're very happy that it wasn't.
And police say they're going to be reviewing surveillance video, including video from that SEPTA bus, which they believe will give them a lot of information about what happened. They did find a gun they believe was used in that shooting, but again, they're looking for another person involved in this very chaotic situation that happened in North Philadelphia tonight.
Hit the like button, man. Go ahead.
Yo, in Fairfax County, they would have said, well, you found the gun, but was it on him? Where was the gun at? Like, give me a fucking break. Was it in his hand with his finger on the trigger? Oh, his finger was on the trigger? Oh, we don't know then.
Wow.
We begin here with breaking news. A 15-year-old boy shot on the city's north side.
It happened nearly 2 hours ago at a busy park. Our Sarah Maki is there live now with what we're learning. Sarah?
Yeah, Jim, Erica, I spoke with some neighbors who tell me they are rattled. They don't know how to talk to their kids about what happened here. Another teen shot in the middle of their residential park in broad daylight. But if you take a look at what's going on behind us, you will see there is simply no missing this scene. You can see police out here combing for evidence. Yellow police tape is closing off a large part of Hamlin Park. And just across the street from this park is a school. So parents, understandably, very upset about what happened out here today. I want you to take a quick look at some of the other video that we have from earlier today. You'll see that what police have been dealing with. They tell us that a 15-year-old boy was shot in this park. He was approached by 2 unknown armed male offenders who produced handguns. They tell us that at least one of the offenders fired at least one shot towards the victim, striking him in the back. And then those offenders left the scene. That victim was taken to Lurie Children's Hospital, initially reported in serious condition. Now there are no offenders in custody, and area detectives are out here investigating. I've been seeing as they've gone from door to door, trying to talk with neighbors about what they may have heard, what they may have seen, and if their Ring cameras caught any video. A lot of these houses just to the side here do have cameras on there. I talked to some neighbors who said that they're in the process of going back and looking to find what they can find on their cameras. That video then they will give to police officers. The neighbors we spoke with didn't want to go on camera, but both of the ones that I talked to said that they heard the gunfire. At least one of them came to the street afterward to take a look outside, and he said he saw just teenagers running everywhere. From Hamlin Park, Sarah Maki, CBS News.
Wicked said he dropped to the back. I guess he, I don't know, he must have disconnected.
Yeah, my internet's been acting up. I just keep it in mind or don't. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Whew. That was a rough one, man. Let's see what else is going on. Wow.
Yeah, Juvie yesterday in Chicago got into a shooting with the cop here, right? Apparently the cop was trying to disarm the Juvie. You know how these clowns like to put the gun in their waist, no holster? Well, in the process, the gun fired, and the Juvie shot him. The Juvie got shot in the groin, which is kind of hilarious, and the cop got hit in the leg, right? But I think it was dare I say it was an hombrito. It was either an hombrito kid or a red bone brother.
I never put a gun in my pants like that, man.
I know, dude. I always thought about that. I like it's too much. I can't do that shit. That
no, right?
That takes balls because you might lose.
Yeah.
Balls.
Yeah, some men do that all the time. Some men would never wear a holster.
That's Plexico Burris, right? He got jammed up.
I mean, for a demographic act that probably thinks mainly with their dick, to put their dick on the fucking line like that, that's crazy.
I'm telling you, we got a white. Let's get into some white crime. Bring some white people.
A Bond man was convicted in federal court this week for committing 2 federal wildlife crimes, including cloning sheep. Arthur Schubarth was convicted of conspiracy to violate the Lacey Act and violating it.
Fundamentally, this was about greed, where you had Mr. Schubarth, the defendant, and his co-conspirators who created this scheme to make more money, to have the largest sheep in the world, actually right here in Montana.
Schubarth was ordered to pay over $24,000 in fines or restitution.
The Lacey Act Reward Fund, that's what he was charged with in this conspiracy of federal law. So that assists our partners in their investigations of similar Lacey Act violations.
The Lacey Act essentially protects wildlife by creating civil and criminal penalties for a wide array of violations. In addition to the fines, Schubarth also faces jail time.
He was sentenced to 6 months in federal prison, and he was facing up to 10 years. I think the court took into account his age. He's 81 years old.
According to the federal filings, Schubarth and his business engaged in the purchase, sale, and breeding of mountain sheep and mountain goats, with the primary purpose of marketing and selling live animals and genetic material to captive hunting operations, meaning cloning.
Put into an embryo of one of his ewes that he would have on his ranch, and then created what he called the Montana Mountain King.
This investigation has taken years of work by multiple agencies.
You had the Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks. You had the United States Fish and Wildlife Service that was the lead investigative entity. That's one of our federal partners. And then the environmental.
Are y'all still awake? Is everybody still, one of you still awake, right?
I can't believe they gave him 6 months for this garbage. Like, really?
Yeah, man.
I wonder why cloning is illegal. I wonder why it's illegal, though, you know?
Yeah, these guys out of control, man. We got to do something about these gliders.
I know.
The Environment and Natural Resources Division, or ENRD, with the United States Department of Justice. They're in this, of course, same U.S. DOJ as we are, but their attorneys who are experts in this assisted us in prosecuting him, and will continue to assist us with the co-conspirators moving forward.
Representatives from the other agencies were not able to comment at this time due to ongoing investigations. Mr. Schubarth declined an interview for this story.
So we take these seriously, we move aggressively, and really pleased that there was accountability here. And again, but for his age, I think he would have gotten a longer federal prison sentence. So we'll see what happens with the other co-conspirators.
MTN did reach out to Schubarth, but he declined an interview. In Great Falls, I'm James Rowland, MTN.
Man, you gliders are out of control, man. I need to stop this shit.
My talk of the table is an only in America wild story, something out of a sci-fi film. An 81-year-old man in Montana who's been charged with federal felony wildlife crimes for cloning a giant foreign sheep here in the U.S. for hunting purposes. Let me try to explain this. So this 81-year-old man, his name is Arthur Schubarth.
Oh.
He imported sperm, tissue, and testicles from a Marco Polo sheep, the largest in the world, and then successfully took that material and made a full living sheep out of it. Then he crossbred that sheep with a Rocky Mountain Bighorn sheep and created a hybrid sheep that he called the Montana Mountain King. And the plan was to sell those, which he actually did, to people who wanted to stock preserves exclusively for hunting. The authorities were not fans of this move, and they've given him a 6-month sentence. The judge said this is to deter anyone from, quote, changing the genetic makeup of the creatures on this earth.
I like how you said he imported. I would love to see the image, the TSA image of the importation of the testicles and what else, the semen going through that machine, what it would show up on the screen. The guy looking, he's like,
why do you want to see that, Vlad?
I'm just curious, imagining what it would look like to that person.
Well, now that you have that image in your mind, here's the other complication here. These are living animals now on the earth. I mean, he successfully created the clone. So people would be wondering that the clone of the Marco Polo sheep that he created here, which is usually native to Kazakhstan, is going to go to a zoo. So that's going to be living. The other hybrid sheep are not going to be used for hunting. He's got until the end of 2025 to sell them, and the meat will be eaten by somebody. That's what they say anyway. Just a crazy story.
That is a wild story, a bad idea.
What? We genetically modify plants and animals all the time. Dog breeders, that's literally their entire purpose.
Exactly.
Of their
dog breed. Yeah.
I mean, what?
Yeah, it's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Yeah, because it happens all the time.
There's literally a label called the genetically modified GMO. When you buy something at the grocery store, if it was genetically modified, they have to disclose it. So why is this a crime?
I don't know, man. You're right, though. I'll give you that.
A disturbing robbery trend is getting the attention of police in the Bronx. On Monday, it happened again. A FedEx worker robbed while making a delivery. Police say two men ripped the package away from him and then ran away. Eyewitness News reporter Marcus Solis with a closer look at the rise in this type of crime.
Hello, delivery FedEx.
Today, the FedEx delivery in Spuyten Duyvil looked rather unremarkable. But it hasn't been business as usual for drivers in recent months in the Bronx. Police are looking for these two men who they say ran up on a FedEx driver and assaulted him Monday afternoon. The incident took place in front of a building on Palisade Avenue just after 5 p.m. The driver was walking from his truck to the front door when the two suspects came up from behind and forcibly removed a package from him and threw the 54-year-old to the ground. The pair were spotted driving off in this car. There has been an uptick in trucks being followed, usually by thieves stealing packages after they've been left on the front porch, as in this theft of an iPhone last week in Yonkers. For residents, it's another cause for concern.
It seems like a safe neighborhood. I know people have had troubles with their cars, though, getting broken into on the street. So, yeah, it's upsetting.
In August, a driver making a delivery in Co-op City had a package forcibly removed from his hand. He was not injured. Then on Tuesday in Kingsbridge, a driver was thrown against a wall inside a building. The package ripped from his hand. In both incidents this week, the drivers were treated at the scene for minor injuries, but not hospitalized. Anyone with information is urged to call Crime Stoppers. In Spuyten Duyvil, Marcus Solis, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Fox 2's Lauren Edwards joins us live with the details. Had to be scary for that mom, Lauren.
Terrifying. That's exactly how the mother described it to us. It was packed here, so much that was going on. She was absolutely just nerve-wracking for that time. 1 minute, she says she was trying to order food for her kids. The very next, they were fleeing for their lives.
It was beyond too close for me, for where their car was sitting and where my car was sitting in the drive-through lane. Like, my kids easily could have been shot in the back seat.
Alicia Pace shaken after she says gunshots erupted near her vehicle in this McDonald's parking lot on Van Dyke and 9 Mile. Her 6-year-old and 2-year-old were in the car with her.
We honestly thought it was fireworks. I turned back. I see a whole bunch of kids running and other cars started driving off. And next thing you know, there was more shooting.
She says they were about to get food, but they quickly got out of there.
I wasn't waiting, wasn't stopping, wasn't trying to look at nobody, didn't want to see what was going on. I just made sure that me and my kids were out of there.
Warren police say around 5 p.m. a shooting broke out between two groups. One group was in a white Chrysler 300, the other a silver gray sedan, both firing shots at each other. Both fled the scene in opposite directions. A witness tells Fox 2 that he saw a group running.
I seen a kid running, looking behind him. I glanced at him and I happened to notice he was holding his pants. I noticed a little barrel in the pant leg.
Michael Bavard, who was a former police officer, says he believed it to be a gun, so he told police. Warren police say no one was injured in the shooting and no one is in custody. As for Pace, she hopes to never experience anything like this again.
Stop shooting up people for stupid reasons. That
Great advice.
Yeah. How about no? Yo, just using the context clues. I think this was obviously Tigers, right? Tiger Kids.
Yeah,
That's my
definitely.
money. My money's on Tiger
Yeah.
Kids.
Yeah, man. Make sure you support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, with a super chat. Salute to Deluxe 247, aka Cal Ripken, aka the real MVP, coming through once again.
But look what she said. All right? Let's think about what she just said, right? I mean, she really didn't say anything.
Nah,
right?
she knows. Talking about, she's kind of like, she's a type of white liberal that's like a trashy white liberal. So she's not like one of these college educated hoity-toity white liberals. She's just a regular old trashy white liberal.
I wonder if this glider here in particular, this glider queen, right? It was Queen's glider. If we told her, yeah, these black kids or Hispanic, whatever they were, but let's say these black kids are out of control. What would she say about what her,
She would be upset
reaction?
with you. She would say, "Don't say that," because think about it. If you say that in front of her and she doesn't object to it vehemently, that comes down on her. That sound bite goes out or that clip goes out, and black people, no matter who said it, black people hone in on her, not saying anything, not condemning it.
Right. But how about this? There is however small the percentage of glider queens that would keep it real, right? It could be her. She
On
could be one of
camera?
that small percentage.
You say? Oh, you saying on camera? On camera?
Well, no, off camera, right? Like, I wonder what this glider here would say off camera if we told, if me and you were there standing with her and we told her that, or this glider that's on the panel with us right now, right? Well, I wonder what her reaction would be, because odds are she's gonna be a liberal, but she might not be, right?
I've heard glider women like this say, I've heard glider women talk openly, kind of be pejorative toward black people, things like that. Privately, never in groups. Gliders in general, especially the women, are afraid to death to publicly be recognized as saying anything that could be construed as derogatory toward black people. It's funny. There's I think it's Thomas Sowell said, like, the 21st century white man's entire life is like, I'm not a racist, and the black man's entire life is shit. I wish I could find the quote. Let me see if I can find the quote.
Everything is racist.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I'm not accountable
because of racism. So what have you heard the glider queen say that was negative though? Like along what lines?
They see it and they know. People have eyes and see. They can very clearly see the difference between themselves and glider men and sons, and they see the difference between all the races. They just
You serious?
Really?
Completely, yeah. You'll hear them. Glider women will say, sometimes, depending on the situation, sometimes they'll be the one to say the most, keep it real the most, because they feel more distance from consequences, I think, than glider men do. Or glider men understand, like, the world will just come down on you for anything and destroy you mercilessly, ruthlessly, and no one will have any pity. But yeah, I've heard things like that before. They usually, and it's in Philadelphia too, man. You would be surprised. Gliders in Philadelphia, historically speaking, half of my family came. Actually, it's a long story, but a lot of glider women and men back from the 90s back had a lot of racial tension with the black people in their neighborhood and stuff like that. And it wasn't, I don't think, until like the 2000s that stuff, like wokeness, just fully took over everything and it just went away. I think rap had a huge part of that. Like the kids adopting the Black culture affected that more than anything. But before then, yes, it was a huge. There's stories like entire neighborhoods that the like racial wars would go on and stuff like that. They wouldn't integrate with each other. They wouldn't.
Oh yeah, we've
like,
done those. Yeah. Yeah, we've done those. We've done those throughout history. Yes, and the Black people always call them massacres, but really what happened was the Black people was killing white people, and the white people was killing Black people. It was going back and forth. The Black people call it a massacre, and it goes down in history as the this city massacre, that city massacre. Nah, motherfucker, yeah, that was a war. Yeah, salute to I hold key. I hold key.
That's one of my burner accounts. I didn't realize.
Oh, okay.
That in from that.
Okay. Salute to you, man. Thank you, man. Salute to Aster J. He says, it doesn't matter. Ninjas are going to vote for lying Kamala Harris anyway. That's how dumb they are. Yeah, oh yeah. I think everyone knows that. But I think they're just trying to get the white people to be like the white people that will vote for her that's because she's Black to not vote. But yeah, all the Black people gonna vote for the Democrat anyway. And plus they're also trying to like get Black people not to vote, like not be enthusiastic, because you got to wait in long lines to vote. And if Black people aren't enthusiastic, they're not going to do that.
Other people want to bring their kids home safely at night.
Now, Warren police tell us this is an active investigation, but at this time, there are no known victims and also no one in custody. Reporting live here in Warren, Lauren Edwards, Fox 2 News.
Lauren, amazing. Nobody was shot or hit in that shootout. I know there's plenty of shell casings out there as far as evidence goes. What about any video?
You know, they said that's one thing they are going to be looking at, but I can tell you, as for us, we went to several nearby businesses looking for surveillance video. We even asked people if they got it on their cameras. We went to the Shell station across the street and a Burger King across the street. No one had surveillance of what's going on, but police say that they are determined to find some and just find out exactly what happened.
It's being described as an extremely rare case. 7 people are facing charges this afternoon.
Yeah, they are accused of double voting in this year's August primary election. All of them are from Macomb County.
CBS News Detroit's Walter Murphy is on your block in St. Clair Shores with the details and why these charges are coming now.
Well, we've been out here right in front of the St. Clair Shores clerk's office watching voters come and drop their ballots at the official election drop box for the city of St. Clair Shores. One woman actually walked up to us and she said she promises she's only voting once. Now, the reason she said that all stems from that press conference earlier today by the Michigan Attorney General, Dana Nessel. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel is moving forward with felony charges against 7 residents of St. Clair Shores. Frank Prezzato, Stacey Kramer, Douglas Kempens Jr., and Geneva O'Day each face 1 count of voting absentee and in person, which is a 5-year felony. They're also facing 1 count of offering to vote more than once, which is a 4-year felony. Nessel is also charging Assistant St. Clair Shores clerks Patricia Gucciardo and Emily McClintock with 1 count of falsifying election returns or records, which is a 5-year felony. The 2 will also face 1 count of voting absentee and in person, and 1 count of offering to vote more than once. Assistant Clerk Molly Brasher is also charged with 2 counts of falsifying election returns or records and 2 counts of voting absentee and in person. She's also up against 1 count of offering to vote more than once.
Hey, we want to make sure that people have full faith and confidence in our elections. We don't want people to try to vote twice. And we certainly don't want clerks that in any way, shape, or form are aiding and abetting in that process.
Nessel says her office is unsure if these individuals were working together as a scheme, but her office has evidence to prove that they deliberately intended to vote more than once, and the signs were ignored in the electronic polling system.
Who you think she voted for? Who you think these people voted for twice? The Democrat or the Republican?
Oh, yeah, Democrat.
Yeah, why are they not saying that? That's the thing. That's a huge part of the story. Like that's everything. What party were they voting for?
system that shows a person has cast
Or
their vote already.
what were they
didn't just
registered
automatically
as? Are they registered Republican voters or are they registered Democrat? Like what?
give them a ballot. They called the help desk. They talked to these highly trained assistant clerks and said, what do I do? And they just followed the instructions that were given by the city clerks. That was, of course, erroneous and violated the law.
Now, we also spoke to the mayor of St. Clair Shores today. He says that he was shocked at that press conference this morning. He also says that he does not think any fraud exists here in St. Clair Shores, and he invited the Attorney General to come here herself.
We reported this immediately on right there. So we took care of that. We immediately reported this issue. But back to your original question, it's a mistake made. And so the Attorney General is making this as if it's voter fraud. It's criminal voter fraud. And so maybe if the Attorney General really thinks it's criminal voter fraud, she should come down and interview them. And if she does, she will understand this is not voter fraud. These people did not intend to defraud the system.
But during that press conference today, the Attorney General says that her office did interview all 7 of the accused, and that's how they came to their conclusion. Reporting in St. Clair Shores, I'm Walter Murphy, CBS News, Detroit.
Wow. Detroit, definitely Democrat shit.
Oh, by the way, Wicked, if you want to see a funny video about what you were asking earlier, there's a video of a glider woman that got really drunk in the college campus and started dropping the N-word, calling some black people the N-word with the hard R. It actually made news. So
that's an old video, right? I think I remember it.
Yeah. So that's
we did that. Yeah, I remember. That was in Kentucky, right? Lexington.
Yeah.
It's an old video, right?
That. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did that one.
Yeah, it's older.
Thank you so much, Chris. Well, tonight we're digging deeper into a federal indictment that charges a building inspector with conspiring to commit fraud with Mayor LaToya Cantrell. Now, this could be a defining moment in the criminal investigation of the mayor.
Chief investigative reporter David Hammer has been exposing the Fed's main allegations for years. He obtained exclusive audio of the mayor that reveals how some of this all played out.
Friday's federal criminal indictment alleges Randy Farrell and his building inspection company, IECI, started collecting bribes from unlicensed electricians in 2018 in a scheme to get them permits and approve the safety of hundreds of their jobs on homes and businesses across New Orleans.
The scheme not only involved the alleged improper exchange of monies, but might have affected individual homeowners, might have affected banks who relied on that to make mortgages, might have affected insurance companies who were relying on the safetiness of that sort of work.
The timeline of the alleged scheme is key and leads right to Mayor LaToya Cantrell and her second in command, Gilbert Montano. December 2018, Farrell and his business partner, Fouad Ziton, allegedly discuss asking Cantrell to fire Jennifer Cecil, a city official who was investigating Farrell. Farrell allegedly gets Cantrell and Ziton tickets to a Saints game and texts Ziton, "Tell Cantrell just a reminder to can that." January 2019, Farrell allegedly buys Cantrell 17 tickets to the NFC Championship game between the Saints and Rams, worth almost $6,000. The indictment says Farrell then texts Ziton, "Just get Cantrell to get Cecil out, and we will be kings." August 2019, Farrell allegedly pays an $831 bill at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse for Cantrell, Ziton, and others, and directly asks the mayor to fire Cecil. A few days later, we got secret audio of Cantrell meeting with safety and permit staffers. You can hear Farrell's close associate, Chief Building Inspector Larry Chan, complaining about Cecil to the mayor.
So since Jennifer Cecil is the backbone of charging me with things, and both directors signed off on it, who do I go to if I want to speak to against her?
Do you believe that we have what we need internally to fill leadership gaps should any become open? So like running one stop, that sort of thing.
A few days later, Cecil's boss, Chad Dyer, tells her she's being fired. Farrell sends Ziton a text saying the is gone. September 2019, WWL breaks the story of a sweeping federal criminal probe of safety and permits. 3 days later, at an emergency staff meeting, Larry Chan asks how WWL knew about the meeting.
And it says sources told WWL TV that city inspectors have a mandatory meeting Monday morning to talk about auditing. Wow, man, I said, man, we must be fans of this. It's out there.
December 2019, Farrell then allegedly buys an iPhone for Cantrell worth almost $1,600. Zeton texts Farrell a photo of him with Cantrell and her family at Lakeside Mall, and Farrell texts Zeton to tell Cantrell, Merry Christmas. December 2023, in an exclusive interview, WWL anchor and investigative reporter Katie Moore asked Cantrell about her dealings with Farrell.
I guess, did he ask you to get rid of certain people in the department to make his life easier at any point?
No, I don't do favors I've never had any conversations with anyone, Randy Farrell or anyone else, relative to who I need to put in place in leadership to make it easy for anybody.
But then Friday, the indictment alleges the opposite. It charges Randy Farrell with 25 counts of conspiracy, wire fraud, and honest services fraud. Cantrell, identified as public official 1, is named as an unindicted co-conspirator. David Hammer, WWL, Louisiana.
Farrell's attorney, Rick Simmons, issued a statement denying the allegations. That statement says the indictment, quote, sensationalizes statements taken out of context. It also says Fouad Zeton, quote, unfortunately had access to Mr. Farrell's credit card. And it adds, quote, allegations of bribery of public official 1 for a luncheon meal and utilization of Saints tickets are too close to the political system.
Wow, she was out there.
Businessman Randy.
Yeah.
You know what? I wish I would pay that much money for a fucking football game, right? First of all. Second of all, so I gotta admit, I almost appreciate some people's brazenness when they're in office.
Yeah.
Like they just don't, it doesn't seem like they give a fuck. Did you hear what our son mayor did here today or yesterday?
Nah, what did he do?
So long ass story short, like he's trying to fire the public school CEO, right? He asked him to resign. The guy refused. So the only way to fire him is through the board, right? Like a board of 7 people, right? Who he put in there. The mayor put him in there, right? They didn't want to. They didn't feel comfortable doing it. And he wants to fire him out because the CEO is not giving the teachers union what they want. The raise they want, all the shit they're asking for, right? So the mayor, all of them resigned, Doc. The whole board resigned today. They're gonna resign.
The school
board? The school board, right? They're all gonna resign. This son mayor is gonna put in who he wants. That's gonna fire the CEO to do what the teachers union wants. The teachers union funded his. Everybody knows they funded his campaign. Think about the brazenness of that, the optics of it. Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I almost admire some people's like brazenness. I'm perplexed by it.
How did these unions get people elected like this? Do they just tell the union members go vote for this person?
So what the union here, the CTU here is very influential in that they use. I don't know how they did this, but they pretty much use the union dues to fund campaigns. So any politician they want, they're buying them flyers. They're going on doors knocking for them, right? The teachers union here. This November, there's going to be elections for the board, right? It's the first time they're going to allow it's an elected board, right? The CTU is funding candidates for the board. So the teachers union is going to be on both sides of the bargaining table, Chief. Think about that.
Jesus.
Damn.
They already own the mayor. The mayor was a CTU personnel. So now the teachers union, who they're nuts, by the way, the CTU here is fucking radical as shit. They believe in all this. They speak all this shit about funding shit for the kids, right? But me and you, you and I both know what they're really saying. They're saying, "Give me that money." That's what they want. They want programs for the kids that run through them though, so that they can
Wow.
pocket that money, and they know they ain't gonna do shit for these goofy ass kids, bro.
Shit.
I think public education needs to just end. I think we should just cancel it.
And replace it with what?
Nothing. I don't think
Does
you
that
need
make
to
any
replace.
sense to you? How does that make any sense?
Do
So
you
what are
think?
we gonna do?
Do you think that you need the school to teach like children for children to learn how to read and write and stuff?
Yes. Who's gonna teach them?
Their parents should teach them.
Oh, okay. Where have you been? Are you new here? Have you not seen the dilemma we're up against as far as certain parents not fucking being parents?
Yeah, but that's another problem. We should do something about that also. But
I like where your head is at. We should also end hunger. See,
well,
we're
you
onto
can
something,
actually do something about these things though. We just choose not to.
Okay,
Like
what can we do about ancient parents?
It's very easy. If you here's the first thing. Abolish adoption. Adoption should not be allowed. Here's the second thing.
Abolish adoption.
Yes. It should be illegal to bring a non-biological mate into a house with children. Like if you separate from if you have children, you separate from your spouse. You should not be allowed to bring in another mate into that house to start acting in any kind of parental role or anything like that.
Why you said? Okay, go ahead and explain it.
What is that gonna do?
Well, there's a huge. All right, what you're trying to do is fix the incentives. The reason people are bad parents is because they have children for either selfish reasons or they're not having children because they want to be a parent and their kid to be successful and everything like that. They're doing it just because it happened or for this or for that. So you have to repair all of that. And what
You just summed up reality, my guy. You just that's reality in a nutshell. People are selfish. Breaking news, Nation.
Yeah, so you have to punish this when it comes to parenting. So like a woman, say a woman has a kid, she leaves the child's father. The best situation for that kid is with both his parents together, but they're not together. If another foreign parent comes into the situation, it can be catastrophically damaging to the kid, because what happens is it becomes the kid becomes a problem of priority for the mother. Now it's who is first, my kid or this random guy? And what ends up happening is the kid will get there's tons of information about this. Any children who get raised with non-biological parents basically get tortured, neglected. Their outcomes are horrible in life.
Yeah. I can you imagine having everybody homeschool their kids? What that would look like?
Yeah, that's just like none of that stuff is practical or none of that stuff.
People do it already.
None of it.
People do it for sure. They do it. However, the people that do it have it in them to do it. The majority of people don't have it in them.
Who's a parent, they should have the schools in Philadelphia, you're not learning anything. Like if you have parents who wouldn't teach you these things, you're just not going to learn them. Kids literally go through the schools that can't even read and write. Okay. And the classes just pass them. So like I understand there are definitely school districts that do a much better job than that, but as a whole, they do a horrible job.
Well, and look, I'm not arguing with you that the system we have now sucks. It fucking sucks, dude. However, I just can't pay. For the life of me, I mean, hey, how long have you been watching this channel? If you don't mind me asking.
A couple years now, I think.
So then a couple years. So then you understand what I mean when I say there's no solution, right? Like
no, I'm not saying that doing this is going to solve everything. What I'm saying is doing things like this is how you start taking steps in the right direction. Let me frame this another way. When people forget about slavery in the U.S. When slavery was ended in Europe, people thought, how is the world going to survive? How are we going to grow food? And they made arguments against it, like the entire economy is going to be destroyed if you do this. What are you going to replace it with? But the reality was, once they got rid of it, what replaced it? They didn't replace it. They just let it spontaneously. People spontaneously figure it out on their own, and the outcome was way fucking better than life with slavery, because now it was expensive. Labor was expensive. You couldn't just make someone do something. You had to pay them. So you had an incentive now to make them as productive as possible while they were working for you. So that's how that's why fixing the incentive is the important thing.
Well, you know what? I call me crazy, right? And maybe I'm an asshole, but I'm sorry, I would pay money to see some of these bitches homeschool their kids. I'll pay money to see that. It'd be
Yeah, like
hilarious.
listen, my daughter just started school, right? She only doing half a days. She not even 4 yet, right? Dude, the prospect of homeschooling her with my wife working and then me working from home, it's I wouldn't be able to do it, man. I'm not even gonna lie. I ain't built like that. And my wife got to work.
And that's keeping in mind, Doc, that you guys, to whatever degree, have it together. Can you imagine these people that are like fucking
Yeah,
alcoholics, they're drug addicts, X, Y, and Z?
right.
I mean, I don't know. Hey, but I like where your head is at, you know? I mean, it's very optimistic. I like it.
Yeah, but look, what the question is, why do people look, your wife shouldn't have to work for a family to survive. Like things like this, there are why it's the cost of living is so high. They do things like this where they suck all the money out of people and resources, make that standard of living so expensive people can barely afford it. And then when you can't afford it, the same thing that is making that cost of living so high, they come and say, you need this thing to help you because it's so high. Like it's a cycle.
Gotcha. So you're one of those gliders, and I like you. I like these guys. You're one of the gliders that believes the system needs to be like I know these guys that call themselves the new frontier, right? And they believe what you're saying, that the system is it needs to be. I don't want to say burned down because
I'm an
just
anarchist.
stigmatized.
I don't. I
Okay,
think that there
so
should just be
right, so
pure
yeah,
anarchy.
because you believe that the system is rigged against you, et cetera, X, Y, and Z, right? Which I think is fair, but I think, I mean, name me a time in history where that wasn't the case, like where the elites were not fucking everybody else. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. It's been way worse. This is the best time.
Right.
Yeah, but what we have, the technology we have, there's no we should be living. It shouldn't be hard for a family to survive.
But the technology they had back in like the feudal days was incredible for the time, right? They were always like innovating.
Exactly. Yeah. They didn't know what was in the future. Was like we don't know. Like we can imagine, but we don't know what the future is going to be like 100 years from now. Yeah, they might have some shit that makes this look like the Stone Age.
But what we do know is whatever it looks like, people are going to be getting fucked. The elites are going to be fucking people, no matter what it looks like.
We know that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yo, Mark is in the back, I think.
I just
he got me in.
Yeah.
So what do? You just send your kids into a school like this where a fucking woke
union
has captured the entire school system?
Private school.
I would do what me and I laugh at the gliders for doing. I'll put my kids in a private school. You know, it is what it is.
Then you're working
to
send them to school. You could just not pay for that and keep them home and school them yourself. You know.
Yeah,
That's like paying
look,
for daycare, going to work to pay for daycare.
Well, my answer to what you just said is literally the answer I just gave you. Literally, that's my answer to what you just said. I'm fucking tired, dude. I work hard for my money, bro.
Yeah, I
As
don't know. Maybe it's
I earn my shit. As you know who makes me earn my shit.
yeah. Oh, I don't know. Hopefully, more people will be able to work from home in the future.
Yeah,
maybe that'll make it easier. Who knows? It's easy enough for me. My wife can stay home. So
awesome. That's great. There's people that do that. I know several guys that do that. Their wife just is a stay-at-home wife. I mean, I know people that homeschool their kids as well. But what I'm just trying to say is, and I'm simplifying. I'm simplifying a complex issue, right? Is that most other people out here are selfish. They don't have it in them. They ain't shit. For whatever reason, they ain't shit, right? And unfortunately, as bad as this system of education that we have is, I think I mean, what you're saying, I just can't. I would love to see. I can see it like in a movie or like in a pretend world, but not in the real
Yeah,
world.
yeah. Because my son's lucky because I taught. I'm teaching, but it's difficult because I'm always working. I'm doing the nightclubs. It's still difficult. And the thing with the teachers union, they pay a lot of money towards the Democrats, so that they fund the Democrats a lot. So it sucks, Wicked. So I know what you mean.
Oh yeah, but the teachers union here is on a whole nother level, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like here, like they're proud socialists and then some. The president. Matter of fact, the president of the CTU here is a strong black sister, right? A queen, right? This lady, I shit you not, was on the news one day after like the Alabama chair situation with the boat. Remember that? She was wearing chair earrings, like during the news interview. You know what I'm saying? He was
Yeah.
wearing earrings of the folding chair, Ike. That's what we're up against.
Folding chair, the Alabama.
Right. She was
Oh
during
man, she's
during the
woke.
news interview. I think about, because if I remember correctly, he beat a old glider queen with that
Man,
shit, right?
they beat some white women up.
So
That's just
so
inappropriate. It's
it's
completely
inappropriate.
inappropriate.
But the bar for that, again, that demographic is so fucking like in hell that no one batted an eye. No one questioned it.
Right.
No one, and it's like, what the fuck? But if they were to question that bitch, I know I watch her enough to I know that bitch already pretty well. Kind of like Kim Fox, right? If they were to question that bitch about it, you know what she's gonna start going on about.
Race, yeah, race,
Racism and
yeah,
Jim Crow and this
exactly,
this. Shut up, sister.
exactly, exactly. Jeez, man. Um, let's see what else is going on, man. Um, hold on, what was that?
Lots of drama in Dayton tonight, where the city manager's job is on the line, all because of a 1-second video clip being shared on social media. Amanda Henderson was at tonight's packed city council meeting with what was on that video and what people are saying about it. Amanda.
Make sure you support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, or Super Chat. Take the $5 challenge, folks.
Well, emotions were certainly running high, as many people stated they didn't fully understand why the meeting was called in the first place, but whether or not people who spoke tonight were in support of Miss Judge, they did make one thing crystal clear. Their voices need to be heard. The small town of Dayton, Texas has found itself in the middle of a big controversy, whether or not to dismiss their city manager, Kimberly Judge.
It's really and truly scapegoating.
As you can hear,
Administrative leave for how long?
City Council's unanimous decision isn't popular among most inside the chambers. Judge was unanimously put on paid administrative leave while an investigation into the time place, and content of a short video showing a woman who is alleged to be Judge unfolds.
It's been insinuated that it was on a trip for a city function. But again, there's no context on the video. She has fulfilled her obligations of her position. We need to let her do her job.
PR firm KGE Entertainment represents Judge and says in part the video shows her dancing and enjoying herself with a group of close friends.
Was she twerking?
She's shaking that ass. That's what she was doing.
Handstand.
Several people speaking in support of Judge have seen the video.
The video is a very short video. There's no context to it. And so from the video, you can't tell where it was shot.
If that's the biggest skeleton in her closet, then we're all screwed. Adam Spear explains why he takes issue with the video.
The main issue that I had was, from what was said, was that it was a city-paid trip. Leaders don't do that. I mean, you don't, take taxpayer dollars and then go act a fool while you're representing the city at an event.
After the final decision was made, we did make an attempt to go speak with council members, but they tell us they've been advised by their legal team to not speak at this time. We will continue to follow any updates in the active investigation and bring them to you both on air and online. In Dayton, I'm Amanda Henderson, KHOU 11 News.
They tripping, man. Man, let me tell you something.
Looks like a ghost town out here.
Lots of.
You said they tripping. You ain't like that. You think the sister getting the
No, she got. You know how many people do that? That's nothing. They're lucky. She could have done worse. I know. Working in the school system, she could have done worse. So they're complaining. They gotta let that pass.
Let's see.
Garcia White is set to be executed in less than an hour. The Houston man was sentenced to.
So yeah, another Southern man getting fucking killed.
Garcia White is set to be executed in less than an hour. The Houston man was sentenced to death back in 1996 for the murders of 16-year-old twin girls. He's also been linked to murders of the girl's mother and two other people, including Greta Williams. Jason Miles spoke with Williams' sister today. He's live now in West Houston with more. Jason.
Hey, Lynn and Mia, this is the first time we've heard from this victim's sister in a televised interview. She's waited more than 3 decades for this day and plans to spread her sister's ashes only after her killer is finally gone.
We did everything together.
Old photos from a pre-digital age are how DeWanta Washington remembers her sister, Greta Williams.
To ride bikes, play jump rope, everything.
But Washington says her sister died tragically in 1989, shortly after moving from Chicago to Houston, months after she did.
She was beaten beyond recognition.
Now 61-year-old Garcia Glenn White, an acquaintance who police say left Williams rolled up in a carpet inside a vacant house, is set to be executed nearly 35 years later. He wasn't convicted of her death, rather for the murders of twin sisters Annette and Burnett Edwards. They were killed along with their mother inside their apartment also in 1989. But it wasn't until yet another murder of a convenience store.
He killed all 3 of them for no reason and shit. That's crazy.
For clerk 6 years later that White was arrested and tied to all 5 killings, including that of Greta Williams.
Even 35 years later, it seems like you're still...
Yeah, it's very emotional. It was a very long time for me to talk about it and getting teared up now.
Today, Washington showed us a box that contains Greta's ashes, unopened since her cremation all those years ago. Ashes she plans to spread back home in Chicago once White is finally dead.
It's a long time coming.
She plans to witness the execution in Huntsville along with her husband and siblings, but without their parents, who did live to see White convicted.
Hopefully he's made peace with his maker. And that's really it. It's time to go.
Williams was just 27 when she was murdered back in 1989. Ms. Washington, her sister, was 25 at the time. She is 60 years old tonight as she witnesses the execution up in Huntsville. Reporting live, Jason Miles, KHOU 11 News.
I find it funny how they not protesting for her.
16 years
for
ago.
him.
Because it's a black woman. If she would, the other dude killed the white woman.
Yep. It's funny how that happens.
Marcellus
People are
don't look
sick.
the white woman.
But this is one odd where I think you could make the argument how like in some countries they make more sense. How they'll just fucking throw tires on you and light your ass on fire, as
Yeah,
opposed to
instead
whatever
of
the fuck
waiting
this is.
28 years, he committed the murder. He got convicted in 1996. This is
Right.
28 years later.
I mean, think about the technology, all the shit, the iPhone. Think about all the. I mean, how long ago was that shit? It was like Windows 98, right?
The OJ trial, man.
Right. This is one where you can make the case that in some countries, just throw a tire on them, man. Be done with it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I mean, and listen, think about the Marcellus Williams case. He's guilty of sin, right? They waited, 20 some odd years to kill him, and people still were mad. So it's like, if you would have killed him the same day, this system doesn't create less outrage. It doesn't create less doubt in people's minds of whether the person was guilty or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The only way how that makes sense to me is when before they killed Marcellus or whatever, they sent his family the bill for all the meals that motherfucker ate. Oh, they sent
Yeah,
him a bill.
that would be good.
It defeats the purpose of the death penalty completely. Why kill someone why even kill someone for a crime if you're going to let them live for 40 years before you do it? They're already old at that point. They lived their entire life,
Exactly. But I guess since they lived in jail, it's looked at as a punishment. Let's see what else is going on, man.
This is a residential street in southwest Atlanta. Not long ago, all the persons who lived here were white. But recently, a few Negro families moved in, and a scene too familiar in other areas of Atlanta was repeated. The white residents started moving out. For sale signs went up. The street became what is known as transitional, that stage when Negroes are moving in and white people are leaving. Soon this street may be resegregated, all Negro. The Atlanta Planning Department has warned that if this trend continues, it's just a matter of time until Atlanta will become an island of Negroes surrounded by a sea of white suburbanites.
Yikes.
The Planning Department suggests as one solution an open housing law for the 5-county metropolitan area, or preferably for the entire state of Georgia. Open housing legislation would enable Negroes to buy houses in sections of Atlanta where they are turned away now simply because they are Negroes. But open housing legislation is not likely to be passed by conservative county governments, the General Assembly, or even Atlanta's Board of Aldermen. Another solution would be to change the attitude of persons in a transitional area like Southwest Atlanta. Southwest Atlantans for Progress, known as SWAP, was organized for this purpose. At SWAP meetings, both races are able to discuss openly any suspicions or mistrust they have toward one another. Tom Oxnard, the editor of Southwest Atlanta's Weekly Star, is an active member of SWAP. He was asked if the overall problem could be boiled down to white residents not wanting to live next to Negroes.
Well, this is true, but then again, it's not true. There are a certain number of white residents who don't mind living next to a Negro. It's true that it may take 100 years for this problem to eventually iron itself out in the United States, but those of us who have been fighting in Southwest Atlanta now I've been here 2 years, and there are many who've been here longer than me, feel that we've got to make the effort to try to learn to live with people who are different from ourselves. That if we don't, this is going against the whole grain of the American dream. Everybody deserves a decent house and a decent education, a decent income. And just because the Negroes are now coming up on the ladder, there's no reason why we should run every time one moves next door.
Are people staying?
That's a difficult question to answer also. In the area in Southwest Atlanta, north of Sewell Road, there's been an almost complete flood.
Now, Southwest Atlanta is like 100% black now, so it's like they didn't stay. Salute to Graham, man. Graham says, down payment on some rock wall for your bunker. Thank you, man. Yeah, I should get some rock wall. Yeah. Salute to my man Rory, man. He say, donation for Ox. Shout out to all you guys, man. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
This guy's woke. He's real woke. Before it was in style.
Yeah, white flight though, man. So Atlanta, and we already showed you, like, this is 1967. So we already showed you, remember the video from 74 where Atlanta was just the murder capital of the world?
Damn. It didn't take long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, it didn't take long, man.
So and here I thought they fled because of hair texture and shit.
No, Atlanta, they left like white people, and this is privilege too, to be able to move white people out of the major cities of their country and make them live in rural areas where rural areas have less amenities. They don't have subways. They don't have great roads everywhere.
Right.
They don't have
Yeah.
rec centers. They don't have restaurants. They don't have nightlife. White people have been forced to move away from the places that are popping. Now they're
Yeah,
moving
that's
back. Don't
true.
get me wrong, they're moving back, but for 50 years they had the
Going to the wilderness in the woods.
Yeah.
Yo, but you make a very good point, Chief. And not to mention, that Atlanta, for example, that's a historic city, man. I mean, I was reading how during the Civil War, the Union March and that burned Atlanta down. That's a historic city,
Yeah, but for 50 years,
They
white folk
deuce.
had to leave. They were forced to leave the cities and live in the rural areas. And as soon as they get comfortable, living out there in those rural areas, a couple generations, now Joe Biden put affordable housing out there. Now they have to move back to
That's
the
the
cities.
worst thing. That is the worst thing, man. Because places in Jersey, like Melbourne, $100 million houses, whatever. They're trying to put affordable housing in there. I'm
That's
like, bro,
hilarious. That is
that's not a
hilarious.
good idea. And I'm shaking my
No.
head like, no.
Yeah, it makes no sense. But I mean, it's hard to maybe because I'm an umbrito, I don't know. But it's hard for me to really grasp everything that everything you just said about Atlanta, that the gliders would allow that. I don't understand it.
Well, I mean, like, what can they do? Like, if black people move in, you can either make a big fuss about it publicly and complain, or you can just leave. Which one
Right.
is which one will allow you to still keep a
Yeah.
job and
Right.
participate in the public sphere and just be a regular person?
I
Leave
think
it.
I think this would be a perfect moment to cue the fishermen,
You know what, Buff? The funny part, though, the fact that staying is not an option is the crazy part. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's completely off the table for them staying. They won't even
Well,
consider that. It's either leaving or
yeah.
it's.
Well, they could stay technically, right? They just had to not get robbed and fucking beat up and gunned down and whatnot. That's it.
They're worried about sending their kids to a school that it has the same thing, the public schooling problem that like a lot of these problems, like I don't know, man. I just think that if there was a lot less control over people's lives in general, that a lot of these problems would just work themselves out. I think white and black people would just naturally segregate from each other, and a lot of the quarreling would just stop.
But haven't you seen some people like chase you guys? Like they seem to follow you guys. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know that.
So how would they segregate
Today's
themselves?
gliders don't even like they're just so egregiously bad people today. I saw this kid, bro. On my way to work, I saw this little glider boy, like maybe 8 or 9 years old, getting dropped off at a school in this horrible neighborhood in Philadelphia, all son school, by his mom. I'm like, what
Sounds
do you think is
heartbreaking.
going to happen to that kid?
That's a bad parent, yo.
Yeah, that's
His life.
child
And-
abuse.
yeah,
Nah, seriously, that's a bad parent
Child abuse.
because
Hey, yeah,
it's not good.
yeah, it's child abuse. Hey, Gladys, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
He's from South Jersey.
Oh, I remember you. How old are you again?
I'm in my 30s.
Yeah, that's child abuse, dude. What you just described.
It's crazy. It's crazy because South Jersey, where he's from, they started that affordable housing in New Jersey because that lady from Camden was trying to get place. She was trying to get in a nice place, and some attorney did that. He somehow fixed that affordable housing, and ever since then, Wicked it's just they're trying to put affordable housing on all the nice neighborhoods.
Yeah,
And that was the
yeah,
worst thing that ever happened.
yeah. Yo, a quick story about that. Funny ass story, guy. So I was talking to one of my guys where they did that mixed income building, right? He told me that it used to be it was in Lawndale, right? North Lawndale. They pretty much like shut down like these little projects and made it mixed income. And people that had to like work and pay rent, like the actual price, would try to like go to sleep and go to work the next day. But the some people that were not working, they were partying all night, right? To the point where it became a serious issue for the building, right? They pushed them out, and but those sun men, they kept coming back, right? Because in that block where they lived, that's where their homies were. That's where their homies got smoked. So they would come back and what you get what I'm saying? Now that was theirs already. Like they kept coming back. The only way for them to not come back is every last one of them got to get smoked, right? But and which is a possibility. In Chicago, that's a possibility, right? But do you get what I'm saying? Like, it didn't work. This mixed income shit didn't work because people that gotta go to work are trying to get rest, sleep. People that ain't paying rent are partying on that.
Yep.
Think about that.
Yeah, because they don't have anything to do, and they don't have respect. They're not invested in the area, and plus they're sons. So yeah, I mean, sons are going to be sons, even no matter how much money they get.
Me feel that we've got to make the effort to try to learn to live with people who are different from ourselves. That if we don't, I mean, this is going against the whole grain of the American dream. Everybody deserves a decent house and a decent education, a decent income. And just because the Negroes are now coming up on the ladder, there's no reason why we should run every time one moves next door.
Are people staying?
That's a difficult question to answer also. In the area in southwest Atlanta, north of Sewell Road, there's been an almost complete flip-flop from white to Negro in the past year and a half. We have high hopes that the area between Sewell Road and Cascade Road, which has now got about 40% Negro population, will continue in somewhat that ratio of white to Negro. I think there are a large number of white people who would stay if conditions were such that they were made possible that they could stay. But there's so many pressures in a transition neighborhood, it's just hard to realize unless you live there. You not only get pressures from the real estate people, you get pressures from your contemporaries who live in other parts of town who tend to say, well, there must be something wrong. Why don't you leave the neighborhood? And you say, well, why should I leave the neighborhood? I like it here. So the tremendous pressures. There are pressures on the Negro families moving in. And it may be too early in the history of this country for there to be a good workable interracial neighborhood. But as I say, those of us in SWAP are committed to try.
There's still Still no workable multicultural neighborhood. But it's not racial tension, blacks complaining about something, or whites being, complaining about something.
I would say this, like the real estate thing, it's kind of sort of true, but it is what it is. If they don't want your ass there, then don't move there. That's just the way I look at it.
Yeah, I mean, if you move to a neighborhood, like for instance where I'm at, these whites do not give any indication that they don't want these Negroes here or these hombredos. Zero indication. They're like this whole notion that like blacks move in and people are like spray painting nigger on their garage door. That's not what's happening, dog. The white people are just leaving. That's what happens. The other thing,
I I agree.
I never heard of it. Like there's no, it may be something black people say, but they can't prove it. They have no anecdotes to prove it. And then if you do find one, it was a hoax. It was probably a hoax.
Yo, I can, and another quick one. One of my guys, right? He lived in a white town, a white suburb, right? And it eventually became
He's
a
an hombredo.
son. No, he was a glider. He was a
Mhm.
glider that lived in a glider suburb, right? It was a
Yeah,
small suburb, maybe like 30 minutes, maybe less from Chicago, right? But it ended up
yeah.
becoming a sun suburb, right? He said
Hmm.
that it happened so fast, like that his property value dropped drastically, right? He said he lost a shitload of money. By the time he sold it, because he,
That,
ended up
yeah,
getting a divorce and whatnot, they had to sell the house, right? Um, he said that the it just plummeted, chief, because
yeah, that's what
obviously
I'm saying. That's
yeah,
true. That
I mean
real
when you
estate thing
have
is true.
yeah, it is true. I mean when you have like men loitering everywhere and litter and and shootings, your property value is gonna fucking plummet, dude.
Yeah, and blacks are always outside. Like one thing about white people, they may be outside in their backyard or something, or they may go to parks, or they may go RVing or something like that. But they just not hanging on the block and on the avenue, just milling around all day. And niggas do that. So when black folks come, it seems like it's more of them. Like when I take my daughter to school, or if I run an errand during the day, this city feels like it's 90% black, even though it's 10% black. Because all the people that are outside just standing there or hanging out in front of a store or walking up and down the street or on the public transportation are black.
Right. Or I don't know about even. Yeah, I noticed
Yeah,
that
so it
too.
it 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 it, it seems they take up a lot of space. Black people take up a lot of space in
I wonder
your in
how
your mind's
how
eye.
I wonder why and how, because that's true what you just said, but how is that the case? You know what I mean? Like, they're just some people's presence is just there. You know what I mean? Like they're everywhere. Kind of how you said, like 10%, but it feels like 90. How is that?
Yeah. Cause they brazen, they outside, they braid, they like we be outside, man. You ever hear the rappers be like, we outside, we outside.
Right.
That's
But
what black people talk about.
even when they're like out on like on their way, like they're not even just like frolicking. I'm just like going from point A to point B. They look like
Hmm.
they're going somewhere. It's like,
Yeah,
man, like you really feel them, and I don't understand why, but
yeah.
I feel it too.
Yeah, like even when on burritos are out, like they kind of like part of this landscape. I guess because I'm a son. Like when I see on burritos, not sun burritos, but when I see on burritos,
Yeah,
it's like they just working. They going to work. They look like they going to do
yeah,
some work or something.
yeah. Funny you say that. Funny, the thing that I've noticed here, right? So, there, how can I put it? There's two neighborhoods that are next to each other. It's a Sun neighborhood and a Hispanic neighborhood, and a Brito neighborhood, right? during the morning, like around like 6 to 7, the Umbrito neighborhood is like buzzing. It's buzzing with like people taking their kids to school, people going to work.
Yeah,
It's
then
like
it's
bumper to
nothing.
bump,
Then
bumper to
it's
yeah, like
nothing like
like
9 o'clock
worker
and can't you don't see no.
but like the sun side of the next neighborhood, it's like almost the opposite. You do see kids going to school, right? But it just
Mhm.
feels dead. It's almost like no one's out there. But then I was at a certain point, yeah, everybody's outside hanging out now. But do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt,
And
no
even
doubt.
here,
Like sons look feel it's a feeling of danger when sons are when a lot of sons are around. There's the element of danger. You can't like
yeah, I think so.
it's you know what I'm saying. If it feels dangerous, it just does.
Yeah, yeah, and even over here again, that neighborhood that I described to you, act like once you hit that area, right? That's like Hispanics, that neighborhood here in the city, you could pretty much expect like to be stuck in traffic, bro. Because I mean, as you know, like the
Yeah.
burritos, they pack an area. They like bean pack that joint. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know. Yeah, yeah, definitely, man. Some on burritos, definitely. Like they go to work. They doing stuff. Like even the barbershops. Like the Sun Burritos got the barbershop game on lock down here, man. You can't get your hair cut from a black dude here, man. Every black barber is
Damn.
a Dominican.
Why is
Every one
that?
of them. I don't know. They just industrious like that. Like that's an industry they take up. They take up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But yeah, as far as on burritos, yeah, on burritos, it feels less dangerous. Now I ain't from LA or something like that, or the Bronx or somewhere where you got like a lot of dangerous
yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Here,
But in
yeah,
general.
here the burritos are they. I mean, obviously, we do this shit too, for sure. But like I told you before, that violent. I mean, you can go to Hey Jackass whenever you get a chance, like on your own time, right? The most violent on burrito neighborhood, which is a violent neighborhood, is like number 15 in the city, and all of them the other ones are all Sun neighborhoods, But the number one violent Hispanic neighborhood, it's very dangerous. Like you'll get smoked. They'll kill you. But it's number 15 in the city, chief. Think about that. How does that make sense? The fact that in South Shore or fucking Lawndale or where Garfield Park, people are just getting gunned down left and right to that degree. You know what I mean? Like it's just dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what we've done so far. We're still trying.
What has the city done?
The city has done virtually nothing. The city is sort of you don't know what to talk about when you talk about the city. Let's say that Mayor Ivan Allen has been sympathetic to the aims of SWAP, but he's not done anything specific to help us. I think he feels that, as many people do, that there's no hope in even trying to establish an interracial neighborhood. So why bother? But there's some things the city could have done, like banning for sale signs on residential property, which would have eased some of the psychological pressure that people in the neighborhoods feel. But the city backed off on this.
SWAP is now battling the proposed construction of public housing units on Sewell Road near the Perimeter Highway. Members told the Aldermanic Zoning Committee the housing would put a strain on public facilities like schools. And SWAP fears that public housing will bring a large number of Negroes into an area that's trying to achieve a racial balance. The Zoning Committee did vote to build the units in Southwest Atlanta, but the proposal still must clear the full Board of Aldermen. Southwest Atlanta has become sort of a battleground where SWAP fights to prove that residents of a community can achieve a lasting racial balance in their own neighborhood. The odds are against them, but they're still fighting. This is Abe Gallman, WSB News.
I am Timothy McCree Johnson's mother. I stand today 1 year, 7 months, and 10 days since Timothy's murder with the same resolve and fortitude of faith as I have since day one. Humble, strong, and trusting in my faith in God. I wanted to declare that what we have achieved in this wrongful death case in 590 days is unprecedented and it is a miracle. We have witnessed the firing of the white ex-Fairfax County police officer and the death of a Black unarmed man. We have had to request a special grand jury indictment.
They act like they've gotten to the point where they act like the person is better because they were Black. Like him being Black means like he deserved, his life meant more. You know what I'm saying? He was Black, a Black man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Think about how disgusting that is. A Black man, like you, like as if like it's so much worse that like his life is so much more valuable. Just
what makes it more annoying, Ike, is like the reality of the Black man. How like
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's
you want to see the story? Do you want to see the story of what happened to this Black guy that she's talking about? Let me play the story first, man. Let me see if I can. Let's see. Okay, here.
That breaking news, a jury found the former Fairfax County police sergeant who shot and killed an unarmed suspected shoplifter not guilty of involuntary manslaughter. Thanks for joining us tonight for the News 4 Rundown. I'm Sean Yancey. Now, the jury did convict Wesley Shiflett of reckless handling of a firearm in the death of Timothy Johnson outside Tyson's Corner Center. Johnson's mother got very emotional when she spoke with reporters after that split verdict.
Today's verdict has provided Mr. Shiflett a second chance, a benefit that my son, Timothy McCree Johnson, was not afforded.
News First Paul Wagner was in the courtroom for the duration of the trial. He joins us live now with more reaction from Johnson's family. Paul, her words, she was so strong and so forgiving.
Well, let me tell you, Sean, I spoke with Melissa Johnson several times today. It was a very long day. She and her family waited on the fourth floor just like everybody else did. At times, she was walking around singing hymns. At times, she was sitting praying. And then when the verdicts came, she was sitting in the front row right next to me as her and her family locked hands and held each other, waiting to hear what those verdicts would be. Just a little while ago, she came outside with her family and reacted to those verdicts. We want to play a little bit more of what she had to say.
My prayers are with Mr. Shiflett and his family. As they have had to endure this, so have we since day one. And although nor him or his family have offered any condolences toward me or our family, I want to say that I forgive him and I have no malice in my heart toward him. He knows the truth, and that is between him and his maker.
During the closing arguments in the trial yesterday, the prosecution told the jury Sergeant Shiflett was reckless. He shot in Mr. Johnson's direction without aiming. He was not reasonable, and Johnson is dead because Shiflett was not doing his job the way he was expected. It was around 6 p.m.
In Northern Virginia, the fate of a former police officer is now in the hands of a jury. That jury meeting later this morning for
fatal shooting of 37-year-old Timothy McCree Johnson. Now, it was back in the evening of February 22nd, 2023, guys, when Johnson was suspected of stealing sunglasses from the Tyson's Corner Nordstrom. Shiflett chased Johnson off the mall into a dark wooded area. Shiflett is actually one of two officers who fired in this incident, but Shiflett is the one believed to have killed the 37-year-old. Johnson was not armed. During trial, the defense argued Shiflett fired in self-defense, the ex-officer saying he'd never been more afraid for his life, seeing Johnson reach for his waistband. Prosecutors focused on the choices Shiflett did not make to de-escalate the situation. An attorney for Johnson's family had previously called this an execution. Guys, it's not clear how long jury deliberations will go, but Fox 5 will have a presence at the courthouse to see if, in the coming days, the jury will reach a decision. I'll send it back to you.
Yes, that's something we've been.
You're on mute.
Does that change your view of what she was talking about?
I mean, I'm not surprised at all. I'm kind of
I am
what I
Timothy
expected,
McCree,
right?
John.
You're not surprised that that's what
Nah, I
she
mean,
left all that out, that he was up there stealing glasses and shit?
but that's almost irrelevant, though, right? To her, that's beside the point.
Right, he was lynched. Yeah.
Why do people think cops are supposed to de-escalate a situation? You know what I mean? Like, if you punch a cop in the face, do people think he's supposed to like respond by like saying, "Hey man, calm down. I'm trying to de-escalate this situation right now." Like what?
They've been told that shit, and plus black people know that that's an excuse. All that is an excuse. So black people use it. Why you ain't you supposed to protect and serve? Like the bitch called us up here because you whooped her ass, and you talking about we supposed
Right.
to protect and serve you? Come on, man.
Definitely
Hold
served your ass
on,
right now, boy.
hold it down, man.
All right. Yeah, you make a good point, dude. Like, it makes it makes it all less safe, you know? This notion that the cops shouldn't use their authority to handle scenes, you know?
No one is. You're never. Number one rule of a violent situation: never de-escalate. If someone escalates violence to you, you have to escalate and dominate them, or escape. You
Yeah.
don't try to de-escalate while someone is like moving through the force
Right.
continuum.
I mean,
Like if someone takes a knife out, do you like you respond with less force or more force? You go higher in the
Right.
force continuum.
Well, I mean, in a logical world, that makes sense, but not in today's world. You know, and the crazy part of all this is that they want these cops to coddle this demographic that, from what we could see, is like tearing shit up, dude. They're tearing it up, dude. Like Philly, let's go with Philly, right? They want the cops to come and like whisper sweet nothings to these dudes that are killing everybody.
Whisper. Yeah.
How does that make? Does that make any sense?
No, man.
It
It's
sounds
crazy.
dangerous. I feel like it makes us less safe, dude.
Dude, I work in Center City. I literally, before COVID happened, I literally considered it. I used to take the bus into work. I considered it to be a hazard just to commute into work. Like
Yeah.
I literally explained that. Like that's one of the things I explained to my work. Like, look, this is
Right. It's a
this is
war zone. It's an
dangerous.
active war zone.
Yeah, it is. You know how many times SEPTA buses have been shot up? There was a
Yeah.
woman that she was assaulting her child, her baby, like 5-year-old child on a SEPTA bus. And another woman like said something like, "Yo, don't do that," or something like that.
Yeah.
And she called some
Oh my
family or
goodness.
boyfriend or something. And at the
Right.
next bus stop, they fucking
Jesus
lit up the
Christ.
SEPTA bus with machine guns, like
Yeah.
3 of them.
Did you ever hear like us talk about that concept that's a sister's superpower? Have you ever heard that?
No. Explain it to me.
So we have this thing here where one of the queen's superpower is the ability to like summon a sunman to kill you.
Like the bat signal or something.
Dude, whatever you want to call it, but we've seen it happening so much here, and I mean that there was. It's just incredible, dude. That's one of their superpowers, dude. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
You know how Aquaman can like talk to fish?
Yeah. Breathe in the water and shit.
Right, they could just telepathically summon a sunman.
Yeah.
You know? There's this one that I had, this notion that I had, right? Where did you know that if you say you're in your car, right? And you know how like you might like leave it running and run into like the gas station real quick or the 7-Eleven? Or
Yeah.
that you guys had the Wawa.
Yep.
If you leave your car running, a Sunman will appear out of thin air and will just fucking jump in your car and take it,
Take
dude.
that shit. Yep.
I don't know if you knew that.
Yo, I have a funny story. Not my car, but so one day I think I was it was a 7-Eleven or something. It was in Atlantic City, and I bought something and I left my phone on the counter. I walk out the store, the front door, turn, take 5 steps, realize right away, oh shit, I left my phone on the counter. Walk back in, gone, just like that. Went up to the clerk. I'm like, yo, where's my phone at? I don't know.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, people, they just walk. They're literally like living their life looking for someone to leave something or drop something, like find some money on the ground. It's like you putting all that focus into like just this, like capitalistic, like jump on an opportunity. Like put that energy towards something proactive. And
man, dude, that would be. Look. I always said, dude. Look, if some people some people have a lot of soul. You know what I mean? They're like very soulful, right? You know what I mean? When I say
yeah,
that,
I get what you mean by
they
that.
got a lot of soul, right? If they had a fraction of work ethic as they have soul, we'd be at Jupiter by now. You know what I mean? We'd have bridges that connect all the planets where we could just fucking go to Jupiter, take the fucking expressway. If they had that a fraction work ethic, dude, you know, I'm telling you, bro.
Johnson's mother. I stand today, 1 year, 7 months.
No, but what?
You know, I'm just hearing this guy talk shit about some people. It makes me sick.
Oh
I was
man,
gonna say it seems like
you
they
talking shit about my people, man. Wait till I leave to start talking shit.
Man,
Damn.
what
they
you
think
mean,
it's
you
not
people,
worth
bro?
it.
What you mean, you people, bro?
What? Salute to Eric S, man, Aqua Nation Hall of Famer. He says, Forney, Texas was a really nice. I heard now it's the section capital of Dallas-Fort Worth. Gliders on burritos are cleaning up Dallas, rehabbing homes in bad areas. Yeah, that's what.
Oh yeah,
Sons will never do that. We never do that.
And if they do, if they're doing it, which they don't, but if they're doing it, they're using umbrellas. They're using umbrellas to
Exactly.
do the work.
Exactly. We would never do it in mass. We can never do it in like a community. Maybe one son here, one son there, but we'll never make a whole community better.
Can you imagine that? Could you imagine how great that would be? Could you imagine how great that would be?
No, I can't imagine it. We
It'd be
suck at a
pretty
lot of
cool.
stuff, man.
But I mean, it's kind of how you said though. Some people have a lot of strengths too, man. I mean, it is what it is. They do. You know, they have their strengths, like anybody, right? And their weaknesses, I guess.
Yeah, we
We've talked
suck
about
at
that.
everything.
I mean, look. I like what's his name? The new Bears. I like DJ Moore. You know, he's a good running wide receiver. You know, I'll give y'all that. You know.
Let's hear it go.
Months and 10 days since Timothy's murder, with the same resolve and fortitude of faith as I have since day one. Humble, strong, and trusting in my faith in God. I wanted to declare that what we have achieved in this wrongful death case in 590 days is unprecedented, and it is a miracle. We have witnessed the firing of the white ex-Fairfax County police officer and the death of a Black unarmed.
Yo, this is disgusting. I mean, his mom, I understand her, but a white, like the police chief wasn't on the scene. The police chief was sitting at home probably watching TV with his kids or probably in his office doing some paperwork with his fucking your son was stealing some glasses in the mall. Like, what the fuck? Like, why is she so proud that the police chief lost his job over this shit?
Can you imagine that police chief say he was already going through some shit, right? He's already like hitting the bottle hard because he's going through some shit, and then this happens. You're like, what the fuck?
I'm telling you, man, this shit is crazy. Like the police chief was like, "Yeah, I want you to go out there, man. First son, man, you see stealing glasses, chase him into the fucking woods and then shoot him as soon as he reaches for his waistband."
Right, get the rope. Me and you both know it's the exact opposite of that. Literally, like, please, I'm begging y'all, don't kill no somewhere.
I don't care what he does.
This shit is crazy.
He probably like, don't kill no somewhere, man. This high school tuition, man. He's
and
jeez.
It is a miracle. We have witnessed the firing of the white ex-Fairfax County police officer and the death of a black unarmed man. We have had to request a special grand jury indictment. We have gotten a speedy trial, and all of the instances that have come up against us since this case and this trial began, up until today's jury verdict. All of this in only 590 days. Together we stand for justice for Timothy. And today we accept the jury's verdict. I want to acknowledge that most Black and brown families who find themselves in the same situation do not get this far. And so I am grateful. On behalf of Timothy's father, Mr. Walker, Timothy's 3 children, Isaiah, Marcel, and Sanaya, and all of the people across the world that have been praying with me, for me, and over me since the beginning of this tragic incident. I want to humbly say thank you and hallelujah to Jesus. I want to thank Mr. Steve Descano, his team, and especially Miss Kim, Miss Tyler, and Miss Jenna Sands, who kick butt and take names later, who pulled this case together as a team in only 1 week. And so we may want to poke blame at all the nuances and the missteps and the mistrials, but they had 1 week to pull this together, and I thank them. I am appreciative to the commitment that the Commonwealth has shown to do what was right, even when it was an election year, and even when doing so meant poking the Blue Hornet's nest. Today's verdict has provided Mr. Shiflett a second chance, a benefit that my son, Timothy McCree Johnson, was not afforded. My prayers are with Mr. Shiflett and his family. As they have had to endure this, so have we since day one. And although nor him or his family have offered any condolences toward me or our family, I want to say that I forgive him and I have no malice in my heart toward him. He knows the truth, and that is between him and his maker. And lastly, I want to thank the media. I'm not going to call names because I don't know everybody and I don't want some people that I just met to be slighted, but I want to thank you because I have felt seen, I have felt considered, and I have felt supported by the news articles, by your reporting, and by what you have written and broadcast across your stations. So thank you for helping us keep Timothy's life seen. He's not a statistic. He's not a statistic. He is a son. He is a father. He is a man, and he is loved. And so thank you for allowing me to provide comments.
This is a man-made.
Yo, you on mute.
Yeah, and on that note, man, sister, thank you very much for the speech, sister. Salute to Glenn Lee Dickus. Jesus Christ. It's a great show, man. Salute to the panel. Same black time, same black channel. Out of here. Peace.
Doses.